The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. It is Wednesday, March 16, 2022. We just got through watching diaries from Ukraine. That footage and that recount was provided by BBC. There is a lot happening around the world that we have to cover. We have a full show for you. We are expected to be joined by terrellstar. He is a foreign correspondent who is there in Kiev now. He has been in the region for years, probably nearly a decade, covering Ukraine and Russia as well. So we're going to try to connect with him, but he is on the go, as you can imagine, back and forth with the war that's happening in real time. We'll be joined by him. And then, as always, we'll be joined by DJ Exclusive and Rebecca Azor and the rest of the team. Dr. Carl Mack is out this week. That said, we still want to begin our mornings, as always. And David, just give me the thumbs up if we have it. I still want to begin with Black history, because everything that we do is rooted in our Black history. So, hey, Google, what happened today in Black history?
March 16, 1827, America's first black newspaper, Freedom's Journal, was launched. The paper was published and edited by Samuel Cornish, a pastor, and John Rossum, the second black man to graduate college in the United States. The paper was based in New York City, and shone a spotlight on the hardships faced by black people across America. Adapted from Black Heritage Day calendar by author, lecturer and civil rights activist Dr. Carl Mack.
And again, Dr. Carl Mack is not with us this morning, but as always, he's left us with history to reflect on. You can go to blackheritagedays.org to get the full calendar, 366 days of Black history. And Dr. Mack, as well, is working on a Black history calendar for women, Black women. So we're excited about that. And Rebecca Azor has been sharing some of that throughout the show. I want to dovetail back to what's happening in Ukraine. Again, we have a full show this morning, and so we're just going to do our best to break the news to you without breaking you. That is the goal of the show. And we are going to be joined by Terrell. He's having technical difficulties connecting with us, but as soon as we get him, we will have that conversation. I want to join with Zelensky, hinting that a NATO compromise is potentially in the works as European prime ministers visit Kiev. President Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, hinted that a compromise may be closer than anticipated, saying that Kiev was ready to accept security guarantees outside the goal of joining NATO, which Russia obviously opposes Ukraine ever joining NATO. This is a quote from Zelensky. He said, "If we cannot enter through open doors, then we must cooperate with the associations with which we can, which will help protect us, and have separate guarantees." Ukrainian President Zelensky said this via a report to a video message conference with Reuters, the news agency. Peace talks between the two countries continued as well, making the first time a conversation between them lasted into a second day. Meanwhile, as Russia has failed to capture any of Ukraine's biggest cities. I want to stop there for a minute, because as footage comes out, there are a lot of Russian soldiers dying, quite a few. And I don't rejoice in that, despite the fact that they should not be in Ukraine in the first place. The reason I don't celebrate it, and I know this is from my perspective here in the West, I know the Ukrainians are probably celebrating that to the top of their lungs, and they should. They are in a fight for their lives. They're in a fight for their sovereignty, and they're in the fight for their land, and they're in the fight against the aggression of Vladimir Putin. So this says nothing. I'm not speaking anything about the Ukrainian celebrations. I just want to point out the fact that so many Russian soldiers are dying, to the tune of over 6,000 so far. We'll get the most recent numbers, but this has to be a significant blow to Vladimir Putin and the hardliners in Russia, because there was the expectation that this would be done quickly. This was the expectation that this war would be completed easily because of the might of the Russian military. And it is with that arrogance that little Vladimir Putin decided to caravan his happy self into a sovereign nation and to claim that nation as his own on behalf of these literal words. Vladimir Putin literally said the Russian Empire. Now, I'm getting a little bit extra here this morning because there's quite a few people from my former cohort on the left. I'm still on the left. These people have lost their minds and they've gone fully to the right. But I digress. There's a lot of people who fancy themselves to be anti-war, who are standing on the side of Vladimir Putin, and their suggestion to end the war is for Ukraine to simply lay down. How does that work? How does that sound? Does that sound sensible to any reasonable person that the way to peace is through surrendering to a bully? That's not how the real world works. And Zelensky and the rest of the Ukrainian people are showing that not only are they going to stand their ground, but they're wiping the floor with Russian soldiers. And again, I don't celebrate that because the Russian soldiers are there only because Vladimir Putin ordered them to their deaths. That's the only reason those soldiers are there. A lot of the Russian soldiers are sending back messages wondering why we are there, why they are there, why they are being called fascists. Why is it that they are attacking grandmothers, as you saw in that clip, schools, hospitals? There is no moral quandary here. There's no confusion. You either know that Vladimir Putin is making a move to change the world order and to change it that is into something that is not beneficial for anyone else but people like Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, who now is so committed to Russian propaganda. And again, let me correct myself. He's so committed to Putin's propaganda because I think it's important for us here in the United States to make a clear delineation between the Russian people who are protesting, the Russian people who are being arrested for their protests, and Vladimir Putin, who has the ambitions of a small, great man. He thinks he's somebody. He thinks he's Napoleon. He thinks he's Ivan the Great. He thinks he is the person who has come to change the world order. And it's only costing him thousands and thousands of Russian soldiers, young men and women who don't want to be in Ukraine in the first place. I don't think this is going to end well for Vladimir Putin. In fact, it should not end well for him. May all of the suffering and pain and turmoil and sorrow that he has visited on the world be visited on him personally. Anyway, moving on. Before I get too into it, here's the President Biden is going to attend NATO and EU summits to discuss Russia's involvement in Ukraine. Now, great news. We actually are going to pause here. We're going to be joined now by Brother Terrellstar, who is actually coming to us from Ukraine. First of all, good morning, brother. Thank you for joining us. I know you are in a war zone right now. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me. And I've moved from Kiev, which is the hotspot that's being bombed. Literally, civilian targets are being bombed more intensely than I did when I was there a few weeks ago. I am well. I spoke with my therapist yesterday. I am in good spirits. I'm in positive spirits. And I'm in the city of Lviv. We have our own, sirens going off about potential bombings of this city in the region. But otherwise, I'm fine, brother. I appreciate you having me on.
No, we appreciate you being willing to do this, man. We've been, our entire team, we've been praying for you and pulling for you. We know, we don't know what you're going through, but we can imagine what it is that you're going through. Let's get to what's happening. Tell us how the Ukrainian people, their resolve, because there's mixed news coming in. Like the Ukrainian soldiers are holding the line, right? They're fighting, but Vladimir Putin is still pushing nonetheless. To give us an update on where everything is.
Thank you. So here's the bottom line. Russia, the second most powerful military in the world, is losing this war. They are losing thousands of troops. They're being killed. They're being slaughtered, actually. And I know in the Western press, you don't see that. But in the Telegram, Russian and Ukrainian language Telegram, you see just bodies of Russian soldiers splayed on the ground. I mean, it's pretty brutal. And I don't think you really appreciate how badly these Russians are getting beaten here, because this is their land and this is what the Ukrainians are fighting for. and they are defending it with sheer strength. I mean, they're basically ambushing a lot of these Russian troops that are coming in guerrilla style, and so they're just chopping them up bit by bit. Now, what's happening though is that since Putin realizes that his ground forces are not winning, then he's just bombing this place, hopefully into submission. But I'm telling you, I'm here, and these people will die to the last human. The way that the Ukrainian attitude is that we would rather, the language that's used with me specifically is, we would rather die defending our land than to live to be your slave. That's the language that is used toward, with me. And it's very difficult because I have friends of mine who saying, hey, listen, I'm going to go get an automatic shotgun. I'm going to kill all these Russians that come in and try to take my land. And you're talking to somebody who you love and who you spent all these years developing a relationship with, and you're looking at the possibility that you're not going to see them again because they're going to go off and volunteer and fight and not come back because it's war. So I'm fortunate enough not to have anyone directly to die from this. I've had friends who come very close to being hit with Russian artillery. I mean, I've had that a number of times, like very close friends. And listen, if that would have happened to me, I don't know if I would be in a condition to talk to you or anybody. But basically, but basically, there's a great deal of resilience here, and people. And so I'll tell you the most heartbreaking thing that I've seen just today. I went to the train station, just to see what was going on there, and the train station that I travel through often here in Western Ukraine and here in Lviv is now a site for tens of thousands of refugees. And you have buses that you have these huge long lines of mostly women and children because, the men can't leave. Right. And so you have these men going with their wives, their girlfriends, and their children to the whatever border that they'll go through, be it Poland, Hungary, Slovakia, Romania, Poland, and they'll get up to the border, and that's where they end with the men because they have to see their women and children off, because in war, just being realistic, it's the women who choose not to fight. The women and children, you have to send them off because ultimately in a war situation, when it comes to starvation, particularly dealing with elderly people, those are the first people to go, and they, you just have to send them out of that environment. And so you have these men, these families being torn apart, and so just looking at all these people, you see these lines where food is being served, and it's heartbreaking to see people being displaced. And so,
yeah, man,
tragedy, man.
Yeah, no, I was going to say displacement by itself. Displacement is an evil thing by itself. You add on top of that mortars and artillery rounds and bomb strikes. What Vladimir Putin is doing. Go ahead.
I hear them.
Yeah. No, I'm saying what Putin is doing is most certainly visiting an evil, not only on Ukraine, but the broader international community. I want to talk about the geopolitics here. The conversation that Zelensky had with Reuters suggested that the possible path to peace would be through security assurances that were not a part of NATO, saying that there may be an alternate route for Ukraine to get security. Do you have any insight into that and how that may play out?
Yeah, so I say I'm happy you asked me that question, brother. So, and I've been on your show and we talked about imperialism, military industrial complex all the time, and you know how I feel about it, right? I mean,
that's right,
right. And so the larger issue here, though, is that I'm going to give you this important context because it helps to answer your question. There's a difference between the NATO that was formed after World War II. The NATO that's notorious. We're going to for Gaddafi, all these other things, and so there's a difference between that NATO versus the NATO of these post-Soviet, post-Warsaw Pact relationships of the 1990s, and so Hungary, the Baltic states, Poland. don't come from that imperial. They didn't join NATO as part of that, as far as the genesis of that imperial framework. They did it solely to protect themselves against Russia. Now, here's the thing. Do they benefit from the imperial framework? Yes, they do. Let's just be clear. Yeah. But they didn't enter because of that. You get what I'm saying? And so
I get it. Yeah.
So when you think about security, it means something very different to them than some of the larger moral questions that are being brought up in the U.S. Congress by members of the Squad, etc. You know, and I think that's an important distinction we need to make. Going specifically to your question, though, is that NATO was NATO was formed primarily as an alliance against the Soviet Union, against Stalin's Soviet Union after World War II. That is true. The problem is that the union that they were formed against composed of many of these countries, right? That don't make up that union anymore. And part of it is that, and not only that, they didn't want to be a part of that union, they were forced. And so that's when they went fleeing essentially to EU and to NATO, because they knew that because they did not want to be Ukraine. And so when you look at Ukraine, you know, do I see, is there any alternative to a NATO? No, because if there was an alternative to it, then Russia wouldn't have attacked. And so basically, you're just giving, now I'm just telling you the energy here. Virtually everybody that you talk to on the streets of Ukraine, if you're doing any polling, they all want to join NATO. And they want to do it for the sole purpose of making sure that what's happening right now won't happen in the future. And so, you know, so there are talks going on right now to kind of end this war, which Putin started. Because again, Ukraine didn't do anything to start this war. Zero. That's right. So that's the bottom line. They didn't do anything. So basically, I don't see what an alternative security option would look like, because NATO is not necessarily saying that you can never join. They're just pretty much, without in a few words, saying we're not going to let you do it now because of the complications with Russia. But when you think about it, but I'll close out by saying that when you look at what does security look like, I mean, when you're constantly bombing a place, I mean, you're committing war crimes. I mean, because trust me, what I've seen, witnessed, they're war crimes. I was just speaking with a guy yesterday who, you know, he came over to visit us. He was in a suburb of Ukraine, very well-to-do guy. And when he went to his house, he saw Russians in his house looting. And and looting and saying, we're going to do all this stuff to your wife and all this stuff. Yes. You know, and so you run into that all the time. And thank God they didn't do anything to her and to him, because they've been doing that. And so, you know, across this, you know, in the East in particular, when you think about security, it's difficult to talk to somebody. It'll be like, you know, talking to Ukrainians talking to Putin about security. It's like Black people talking to the NYPD about how, you know, hey, we're gonna make it safe. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. You know, so I want to piggyback off of that last thought, or after your first thought, right? One of the first things you said was how many Russian soldiers are dying. I can imagine that this is playing well for the hardliners in Russia who support this war, because it's embarrassing, right? At this juncture, they have to be embarrassed. How does this play out internally? Does Vladimir Putin have a strong enough hold to survive this embarrassment, and not only this embarrassment, but this all-out catastrophic situation that he himself created?
Bro, that's an interesting question. So here's the thing, because there's such a dearth of independent media and a crackdown on just civil society and civil liberties in general, it's hard to really, I mean, all the internal polling shows that the local population support the war and supported like this annexation of Crimea. But at the same time, when you see Russians on the street being asked about this, there are a couple of things that you look at, right? So you look at the literal translation of what they're saying, because, you know, you see this in Western media. You see Russians saying being indifferent, but what I also see are Russians who are terrified of saying the wrong thing, lest they be thrown in jail. I mean, because people are thrown in jail if they show any type of opposition to this war. I mean, that has been happening. And so
that happened with the that host, Marina. I can't pronounce her. I can't pronounce her last name. The host on Russian radio television that protested and was arrested. Yeah.
So another thing is that, but more specifically to your point of this is not looking good. They didn't look. The crazy thing about white supremacy and what I would call like this Russian supremacist mindset, because they have their own form of a supremacist mindset. I call this a Russian supremacist mindset that they have towards Ukraine. Is that you severely underestimate you in dehumanizing the people that you're targeting. You underestimate them. And you think you can do whatever you want to them, right? And so these people, I'm telling you,
they're getting a rude awakening. Well, I guess awakening is not the word.
That's in the severe understatement. So, like walking down the street, people will walk up to you. I mean, I've had people walk up to me, and their greeting was, "Putin is a dickhead."
Yeah.
But the thing about it, like profanity in Ukrainian or Russian is a lot worse than it is in English. So when somebody says that to you in there, no, it is like, or so for example, when you like a common refrain here, and this goes, I'm giving you important cultural context because you need this in order to understand what's going on. And so, like any type of profanity in Russian or English is really awful, right? And it's like it's like fighting words. And so, like the phrase kind of go fuck yourself, like it's like a refrain. I mean, Americans say it, but literally, when a Russian says it, it's like, I literally want you to go find some place and search your, like it's like a very graphic, but I'm saying this to you because when you're on the street and people say this to you, it just shows you how far it has gone. Okay. And then you also, because again, how many people go to some foreigner and say Putin is a dickhead and use that language, but it just shows you the energy that's happening here. And I've had people come up to me and I'm doing my own little thing with my selfie stick and they'll say, well, hey, they'll come up to me and say, hey, only Ukraine is going to win here. Fuck Russians. We will kill all of them. And I mean, and so it's not just a thing against, they have a disdain for what they say is a slave. And again, I'm using their words, right? Like a slave mentality in Russian society. I can't find a single friend or a single person that I've encountered on these streets, and there's not a part of this country where I have not been. Okay, that where people are saying it's just Putin. No, they're saying even if Putin goes down, we still don't trust y'all because y'all are willing to die for our freedom, and you aren't. And so when you look at this whole thing about they're being embarrassed, they don't know what to do because the problem now is that Russians are saying they have 498 people that they've confirmed dead. I think those are the 498 bodies that have gone into Russia. When more of those body bags go home to their mothers, because you get the intercepts of these soldiers, because many of them are conscripts and not real like hardcore soldiers. They're calling their parents and they're crying. They're getting upset and saying, "Hey, we can, they're killing us. They're slaughtering us." And so, yeah, they're going through a state of shock right now.
Wow. Terrell, I want to, if I can hold you just for a few more minutes after this break, I want to go to a quick break. When I come back, I want to talk about some of the propaganda that is infesting the West and if it has any bearing on what's happening over there, or if not. Let's talk about that after we come back from this quick break. More of the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We're going to be joined later on by the rest of the crew. DJ Exclusive is back to our brother terrellstar while we have him. Brother Terrell, thank you so much for joining us from the region there in Ukraine. You said you're no longer in Kiev. Where are you now, brother?
I'm in Lviv right now, and so the reason why I'm in Lviv is that I was following a good friend of mine, Andrei Konolenko, who has been doing a lot of the driving. I mean, I know that I think I've talked to you about some of the families that I've helped to get to the border.
Yeah.
But Andre, he did all the driving. And so we're a team, and he was embedded with a volunteer group of people who were armed, protecting checkpoints. He shifted his role to doing more humanitarian stuff, which is why I'm in Lviv with him. And so that's where I'm at right now.
I want to talk about a couple of different angles of this. One, last week on the show, we got wind of the African students who were being treated at gunpoint by the Ukrainian soldiers. We had a chance to unpack it, but we didn't have a chance to speak with you about it. What are your thoughts about that entire situation?
Yeah, so thank you for asking me that question about the African students. So I think one of the things that we have to look at with this, one, it was happening, and then two, there is the government did respond to it, and I'm not carrying anybody's water, but there are a number of people, elected officials, who once they caught wind of it, they went on Twitter themselves and they apologized for this behavior. And so again, let's be clear, it happened. Right, we saw that stuff. It was clear, it's deplorable, but also this type of behavior is consistent with how, with racism that happened long before, this even happened, right? And so this racism, and it's not just Ukraine. It was also, you think about Poland, you think about all these other places. Like all this stuff existed before the war. It's just that when you have these refugee conflicts, it exacerbates the racism, right? And so, so now I think that, it's shifting a bit right now because there are plenty of African students to get to the border and have no problem at all. And those are things that I've seen personally that have been confirmed by people that I have seen. So this issue is very complex. And so the reason why it's very complex is that there are several hotspots in Ukraine, particularly Sumy and Kherson, right? And so those are in the east. And so you have situations where these cities are surrounded by Russian soldiers, and there's just cases where many of them, they just can't get out. And so so particularly in Sumy, and so you have situations, and that's something where I'm trying to work through right now. How can I best help these students who can't even escape? And so, and you just, they're going through corridors that Russia will recognize, right? Because they're supposed to be green corridors through which non-combatants are going through, but the Russians are shooting at them, right? And so, I've tried to contact a number of students in some of these hotspot areas, but because they're probably in bunkers, they're just difficult to get to. And so that's something that I'm working on as well. But the thing about border politics is that you have situations where, I've even had to grow and understand my own passport privilege that I have in this situation. And so I don't know if I even told you this, but when I escorted the first family, I was in the Ukrainian line because I was escorting them to get through the border. And if you're an American citizen, you can go to the EU without any problem. Now, I think that when you once you're a refugee, you're all going to the same place. Doesn't matter. And so it's complex in that you have these. They focus on the Ukrainian women and children first. Like that's who they're centering to get out of the country. I get that. The problem is that when you get to the border, it's not that they have this foreigner line, which again, interesting enough, I wasn't in. I was even though I am a foreigner, right? I am,
right,
but I'm American, and I just never thought about getting in any other line, but getting in a line where I can have the least resistance. And so I'm just keeping it real, right? Just
I understand.
Keeping it real. So basically, interesting enough, in this with this first family, I'm in contact with a guy named Shane, as a British guy, and So I've been keeping in contact with him over the few days. I'm helping his family get to the border because, you know, in order to get to the border, if you're driving, it takes a couple of days. You got to go through dozens of checkpoints. And it's just a lot more difficult. You have to depend on people to give you housing because you can't go on Airbnb and get anything because it's just not available, right? And so we made it just solely on our personal contacts, me and Andre's contacts. That's how we made it in getting these people to and from places. My huge following on social media. I said, hey, I need a place to stay here, and people say, I got you. My mama got you. My cousin got you. Somebody got beautiful. You. You know what I'm saying? So that's that's how I've been able to navigate. But the point of it is talking about like being a refugee is expensive, dude. Like and catching things. So just a brief digression. This place in Lviv, I found it, and in order to like get this place for 8 days, I had to pay $1,000.
Wow.
So my whole point of it, so when people are donating and giving me money for my work, it's going to things like that. So, you know, because it was not like I was trying to, it was just the best option that was available for me. And so, so just imagine if you're some refugee that's coming through and you didn't plan for a war and you need a place to stay. They don't have $1,000. I mean, hell, these people are making $500 a month. Okay. Wow. You get what I'm saying? Wow. And so basically, going back to Shane, I'm communicating with Shane. This is a couple of weeks ago. I'm saying, hey, and Shane said, where are you? What's your status? Because we're at the border in Slovakia waiting on you. This family that I'm taking, me and Andre, following us around like ducks because they're scared and they're traumatized, and they were in a bunker for 3 days straight. When I get to the border, we get past the border, and then waiting for this family was Shane, who was another black man, a black British man. And so here's the irony of this, all right? You talk about the inequities about being a refugee. And you talk about how Europe is welcoming these kind of white refugees in and all this other jazz, right? And so you see the inequity. Now, this family, depending on a black person to get them through, get them to the border, and then waiting on the other side of the border was another black man. And we both come from countries that are empires that that at one point enslaved our people. Think about that.
That's a lot of interconnected complicatedness, man. That's a lot going on there. That's and the irony is not lost upon me. Finish your thought, because I feel like you were going to say something else with that, because that is simultaneously beautiful, ironic, and painful to see.
Yeah. So basically, look, again, you know me, Ben, and you know me. You know that you've known me when I was covered domestic politics. So you understand how I cover things, how I see things. So it never was a doubt in my mind that I was going to stay and help these people. Because what drives me to do this is my faith, right? And so even though people, because ultimately this war is a breakdown and failure in humanity. That's what it comes down to.
Say a word.
And even though I see a dearth of humanity and how my people are treated, I will never lose my understanding of others' humanity. I'll never lose that. And that is a Christian. That is a Christian faith-based approach, not one of man. Right. Because if I was being followed by man, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing.
You got out of there a long time ago. That's right.
Right.
That's right.
A long time ago, and so basically, again, the inequities that we're talking about, they're definitely clear. But at the same time, what I'm trying to navigate in my own journalism and then in my own work outside of journalism is, I hope what I'm doing is bringing everyone's humanity to light and realize that when we think about white supremacy, when we think about these systems of oppression, they hurt all of us. They harm all of us. And my word to Ukrainians is that, yes, you are oppressed under Putin, But when you go to the United States, when you go to the European Union, I want you to remember what this oppression felt like, and don't join the imperial oppressor's framework and then turn on and oppress us.
Okay. Well, now that's a tall order. I've been listening to everything he's saying, man, and I'm with you 100%. And I pray that that's what happens. But how many times have we seen through history when, you know, because of the melanin count, they blend in? But we're not going to. We'll see what history says. We're not going to hold them to that yet. But we'll see what history says about this. Terrell, I want to help support. I want to help support what you're doing, man. Can you and David, if you don't mind, getting his Cash App and putting it on the screen, because I know you're over there. You're doing the work, and I know the place from which you're doing the work, and I want to make sure that and there it is on the screen. Your Cash App is $Terrell J Star. So anyone who has some extra coins that you could send his way to support him, as he's not only doing journalism, he's not only doing humanitarian work, but if there's some faith people out there, he's out there doing some faith work as well, man. So Terrell, I want to salute you, brother. You stay safe over there with all trying to save the world and stuff. You make sure you're safe.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. And anytime you say, I want to talk to you, you got my time. So I cleared the schedule for you.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. And I'm going to let you get back to the rest of your day, man. Be safe. Cash App this, brother. Cash App $Terrell J Star. Brother, we'll have you back. Be safe, and we'll talk with you soon.
All right, peace.
Take care. All right, I'm going to turn it back over now. We're going to take it. It was a little bit out of order, but I wanted to extend that interview so we could get everything we could out of our good brother. I'm going to toss it back to DJ Exclusive. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to go on the clock, and we're going to cover some stories about justice here domestically. There's a whole lot happening on the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. We'll be back right after this brief break.
Campion, good morning. Lena L. Hey, Miss Sophia. Sydney Butler, good morning.
There is no good or better. I think tonight I'm gonna make it mine. I stepped out, stepping on next. Little baddie, cashing big checks. I bought the whole block out, now that's a big flex. Peeping out my Uber window, like what's next? Got new levels and new devils out the wazoo. Ain't no worries, life gets better when you find you. And if you mind you, peace will abide.
Starshine Song Dragon, Starshine Song Dragon. Good morning to you. G-Man, what's going on?
Tell that bitch move. Walking all in my inner, that's a bitch move. Pressed that I arrive, mad that I survive. All your sad attempts to send me to the sky. But I've been in the wind, been had wings, I was always this fly. Oh yes, and that's probably why you're mad. Don't let Evie turn you into a trash bag. So get glad, find out why you said
Vanessa,
that.
good morning.
All that jealousy, you should subside. I think it's time to turn that mirror on you. Put it up close for a clear view. And look deep down inside. And soon you will find a pretty soul that needs more shine.
All right, y'all, we're going to get back to it. Y'all, welcome back to the screen. My brother from another mother, Benjamin Dixon.
Welcome back to the morning show, everybody. Georgia Ford is not with us this morning, but as always, we're going to hold it down. DJ Exclusive, how goes the day, brother?
It goes it. Y'all caught me off guard. Y'all caught me with my pants down. Not literally, but yeah, I'm good though. I'm good.
Hey man, there's a couple of stories. It's too early. We got about 10 more minutes before we can start with all that. But no, for real. Let's start with some domestic stories, man. Like while we're doing all this coverage of Ukraine, stuff's popping off here in the United States. Over in Mississippi, they just passed a bill making it more difficult to discussing race in schools. I want to say that again. Governor Tate Reeves in the state of Mississippi has signed into law a bill limiting the discussion of race in schools. I want to play that clip so we can get all the details. There's a clip. David, no clip. All right, let me read this on the screen here. In too many schools around the U.S., this is from Governor Tate Reeves of Mississippi. In too many schools around the U.S., critical race theory is running amok. It threatens the integrity of education and aims only to humiliate and indoctrinate. That's why I signed a legislation. I signed legislation that will help keep critical race theory where it belongs, out of Mississippi classrooms. But it's BS. But now we have the clip ready. Let's take a listen into this clip.
Now, I can almost guarantee what will happen next. First, critical race theory proponents will claim that this law prevents the teaching of history. They'll claim that our kids won't learn about important historical events like slavery or the civil rights movement. But we know the truth. Contrary to what some critics may claim, this bill in no way, in no shape, and in no form prohibits the teaching of history. Any claim that this bill will somehow stop Mississippi kids from learning about American history is just flat out wrong. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. All elements of Mississippi and all elements of American history, both the good and the bad, should be taught in our schools. Period. I don't know how much clearer I can be. Second, Mississippi will become subjected to an onslaught of insults. There will be false assertions that our state is racist. Our education system will be dragged through the mud and demeaned, despite the fact that our high school graduation rates are at an all-time high and better than the national average. But despite the arrows that will be volleyed at us, we're not backing down. We can't back down. Our kids are our greatest assets, and Mississippi will do whatever we can to protect them.
Really?
So to those looking to tear us down, you do what you got to do. Because at the end of the day, Mississippi will do what's right.
Really?
Thanks, and God bless.
Really? And James, let me give you a few more details before we talk about this cat. Mississippi gonna do what it's got to do. Come on, boy. This is from NBC News. The short title of Senate Bill 2113 says that it would prohibit critical race theory, but the main text of the legislation does not mention or define the theory. And many supporters of the bill have also said they cannot define it themselves. And NBC News went on to say, the new law says no school, community college, or university could teach that any sex, race, ethnicity, religion, national origin, or inherently superior or inferior. I mean, yeah, that's already, it's the trick is in the language. The point is that they don't want critical race theory taught. And so they put critical race theory in a bill without a definition. That leaves everybody and their mama up to define what critical race theory is. And so we're going to have a big mess in the state of Mississippi, James. As if it's not already a mess over there.
That's what I was about to say. Like, it's not already a mess there. And this Mitch McConnell looking man is just like, I don't understand it. This makes no sense. We're gonna do what we have to do, and let's be honest. A lot of this history and stuff that is going to be taught. It to me sounds like it's going to be taught at a high school level. That's when we start really learning about some certain parts of history. When you really think about it. So these kids, you can't really call them kids no more because they damn near adults when you get to the high school age, and that's when they really need to start learning this information. But if you really think about it, the high school realm is when the most development starts to happen. That's when you start freeing your mind and walking into the personality of who you really are. So I'm just like, why try to take this away from kids? You just want to teach this old basic ass history that we had in school, which was
in 1492.
1492, Columbus held what, Ben? The ocean blue.
Oh, colonizing, disease spreading, saltine, racist, genocide, Christopher Columbus head ass.
No,
take down the only clock branding. See, y'all go. Shout out to Georgia Ford, who is out saving the world. Y'all gonna learn not to leave me and James here by ourselves because we just don't know how to govern ourselves accordingly, especially when we come up against some ignorance like this, right? So we're talking about Mississippi. Mississippi is, let me tell you a real quick story. When I was in college in Florida, not at Bethune-Cookman, I went to a second school after that. They were surprised to find out that I got my education in Mississippi. They were like, oh, wait a minute, you can actually write. I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, I got a good education in Mississippi, but I was the outlier, James. Like when you consider the condition of Mississippi in general, they're like what, number 5 to last in education, if not worse. Yeah. They are at the bottom in terms of economic strata. Like their citizens. And I'm not even talking about the black folks in Mississippi. We know black people in Mississippi have had it hard since this Mississippi became Mississippi, right? But Mississippi ain't good for white folks unless you're rich, right? And it's not good for the education of any of their population. And so for the governor to get in here and make it seem like he's trying to protect children, when clearly he's just trying to protect children from learning about race, learning about racism, learning about white supremacy, learning about 1619, when the first slaves were brought to this country. That's all he's really, but he's more interested in that than actually helping his kids get a good education in that state. So,
because really, when you think of Mississippi, it's always one of those things where you hear the banjo playing, the buck teeth, the coveralls on.
Oh man, I'm from Mississippi. Now I ain't gonna let you do Mississippi like that. Now wait a minute, James, because you ain't too far from me. You from Alabama too. Now come on, man.
We wasn't that bad though. I was just made out to be just like God dog, man. It's like, well, welcome to Mississippi.
You're not going to talk about one of my home states like that, man. But yeah,
like that.
Yeah, it's pretty.
But if you think about it, that's always the perception that we were given. It is when we're growing up, and it was so bad. It wasn't until it's just like, there is stuff in Mississippi. There are things to do in Mississippi. People do come from Mississippi. Cool.
It don't help that the governor actually meets all those, all those cliches about Mississippi. Ignorant. Back asswards, forget about the country accent. I got a country accent, but it's the country accent on top of the stupidity that really is not making Mississippi look good. Y'all deserve better than Tate Reeves. I tell you that much. Y'all deserve better than that clown. I want to go to another story here. Georgia put together a video, Georgia Fort, over on her channel, on her Facebook page. Please be sure to go and check out the original. She put together a video 5 years ago today. Cordale Handy was fatally shot by St. Paul police officers. And here's the thing, man. There's something happening over in Minneapolis, in the Minneapolis area. Like, I know there's shootings everywhere, but it's almost like certain cities are, I don't know, clusters. Like there's just so many people being killed in the Minneapolis and St. Paul, the Twin Cities area. And Georgia's been covering most of them for a very long time. Let's take a look at this. It's a long clip, but we're going to cut it a little short. But this is a memorial piece that she put together for Cordale Handy.
9 months you carry a baby. You die again giving your baby's life. And you motherfuckers have the nerves to kneel on their motherfucking necks. Pump bullets in them. Overkill. Rob and steal.
My son Cordale, he lived on the east side. He lived on 6th Street. The police was called. From what I'm assuming, they had been in that building earlier for domestic violence. So they said that it was Cordale. It was not Cordale having a domestic violence. It was my son, when they did get there, having a mental episodic attack. And at one point, he even tried to call the police and hung up. And so when he exited out of the back door of the building, he came down here, he walked down here, with his dog, sat on the curb, hands up, and they just started running up on him and started shooting, is what happened to my son. But they said that he tried to reach for a gun, but witnesses' testimony is totally different. And the fact that I'm the mother that was on the phone. I'm his mother. He called me, so I heard them kill my child. And it was like within no time of them approaching him. I hear bullets, 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 and then I don't hear no more, and then within 5 to 10 seconds, I hear another bullet. So there was a pause in between that last bullet. Yeah, so no medical attention, no anything. And he died. And in St. Paul, it's a quieter structure. So that was kind of like the structure that Cordale and the environment that Cordale grew up in. You do have some very beautiful people here on the east side, but my concern is not enough of them are involved. We see people involved with George Floyd. We see people getting involved and engaged with Dante Wright. Rightfully so. I'm one of those people too, because a tragedy to one is a tragedy to all of us. And all those black lives that have been lost matter. And I noticed, like, when we came here in March, you had the people come out and stand in solidarity with us. But that's just one day. This needs to happen every day, because every day St. Paul police are killing our people. Let's just be honest. Fumi Lee, Marcus Golden, Jaffrey Smith. There's a lot of people here who died at the hands of St. Paul police. When they take justice, we have to activate Just Us. And it's enough Just Us on the east side to make it happen. And the world sees George Floyd, right? And we can clearly see he was detained in handcuffs, on his stomach, lying on his chest, his breathing constricted, and then to even constrict it more with a knee to his neck. And so people seeing that and the world seeing it, and even with the world seeing it, they were trying to say, oh, it was gas rooms. Oh, he did drugs. But the drugs didn't kill him before then. That's not what killed him right then and there. We clearly know what killed George Floyd, a knee to his neck. But when we go back in retrospect and we look at people like Cordale and people like Marcus Golden, they had a knee on our neck then. But the only difference is the videos that played out in real time when George Floyd was murdered. Can you imagine what was being done when there was no video, when there was no film? Can you imagine like what mothers like me feel like around the world? When you've done wrong, it's kind of hard, right, to put that out there for the world to see. Had not that little 17-year-old young lady filmed George Floyd, that would have been swept under the rug.
Welcome back. That was a clip put together by Georgia Ford. You can see the entire interview and the entire compilation over on her Facebook page, georgiaford.com. Also, I want to bring back into the conversation DJ Exclusive, as well as brother Pascal from the Pascal Show. I want to say good morning to you, brother. Thank you for joining us, man. How's it going? I know this is a heavy story for you to come in on, but we got to salute you, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. What's up with you guys? What's up, everybody out there, Lions and all that?
Look, man,
what's cracking?
Man, ain't nothing happening but the rent, bro. We just over here just piecing it together, man, trying to keep our heads down. All the sayings black people say.
The rent and also pushing the narrative, right?
Getting right there. It is. That's right.
Reminding people of things that have happened before that are still happening to this day, right? It's a broken record.
Right.
I say it all the time, but this is a broken record, and it breaks my heart that even 5 years ago, we had something like Cordale happen, and it just goes to show you that we still have a whole lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do because nothing has changed, and with platforms like yours, hopefully push it forward. You know what I mean? So it's heartbreaking to see this kind of stuff. And but man, Georgia Ford. Let me tell you something. That woman's a beast. I'm telling you. I'm sorry. I'm saying it. I'm giving her flowers. I want to give you and DJ Exclusive your flowers as well. Oh, we can't forget the queen. We cannot forget the queen as well. But
you're messing up.
Y'all
can't forget the queen.
Y'all deserve your flowers. Real talk. So, so I appreciate you bringing up this story, or Georgia too, bringing this story.
Yeah. No, man, those names get the back of your head, and you start. You don't really realize how many stories. I'm saying this from the journalist perspective because clearly, the families. Their lives have been disrupted, like just devastated in ways that we can't even imagine. Right. From the journalism side, after so many years of covering these stories, you pause and you start to think, holy crap. I have now personally participated in the coverage of probably over 100 Black people killed by police. And if I started listing the names, you'd be like, yeah, oh man, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. And it's just happening so much. So yeah, man. So shout out to Georgia because she has I honestly don't have the backbone or the stomach to cover those stories anymore because they mess with my head a little bit. So we need somebody strong like Georgia to be out there to cover it.
That's right. You know, even for myself, right? I hate to turn it on a selfish tip, but I totally feel you on that. Because as soon as you get a new, I hate to say this, but a new hashtag, right, that comes out, you're talking about the same story in a way. It's always the same thing, except, you know, the narrative out there in the media or, you know, in certain demographics, if you will, they will try to do everything but call that person, that victim, a man of God or a child of God. They'll name them everything. They'll sit there just like that woman that was just on. I think that was the mother of Cordale.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, I just hopped in like in the middle of it, but
that's the mother of Cordale Handy. Yes, sir. You got.
But she's saying the same thing. They will do everything except name that child a child of God, right? And after some time, it's tough. It's tough to tell those stories over and over and over again, especially when it just happens every week. It happens almost every day now. Where
James, I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you, Pascal, but James is you're a testament to this because you've been doing this with me now for a year, like just over a year. We've been doing the morning show format, bro.
Man,
how many
been
stories?
Like 2 years, man.
It's been 2 years.
We coming up on 2 years, man.
The pandemic.
We started in the beginning of the pandemic.
Damn.
Yeah.
We coming
up on 2 years.
So in those 2 years,
I was
how
about
many
to
times
say,
have we had to do the same story over and over again when it comes to hashtags and Black life, man?
It's been a lot. Like we were on the pinnacle of a lot of it. Like from George Floyd to
that's right,
Rashad,
Ahmaud Arbery.
Ahmaud Arbery. It's been a lot, a whole lot.
Yeah. And just to have to cover it, Pascal, you took the word out of my mouth.
Broken record, like I said.
Broken record, yep.
It's a broken record. The saga just continues. It's the same story, just a different name. You know what I mean? And so it's After some time, that's when you start talking about Kanye West. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta
right.
Wait a minute. You said so that's why every now and then we just say, man, the hell with all this serious stuff.
What's up with
Kanye West?
Kanye.
You got to, because if you don't, then you're gonna go crazy.
Exactly. Thank you.
Exactly. Like
Kanye. Thank you for saving me, because I was gonna throw myself into that trade. Listen, man, you gotta laugh. If you don't laugh, and we see people gonna be real mad. Like we lost some subscribers and whatnot because we're transitioning to the morning show, or we have transitioned to the morning show. Listen, when we get done with the 2020 elections, the 2022 elections, we go on full morning show, because you cannot cover these kind of stories at the frequency and the intensity that the news cycle demands and not laugh our way through it, because otherwise, man, like, I'm not that guy. I'll be out in the street somewhere. Y'all find me marching up the steps of the Capitol, burning a flag or something. So we're going to have to laugh our way through most of this stuff, Pascal.
Facts. I mean, you can't go through life just being all serious all day long. You got to have a little bit of humor in there, right? Without humor, right, you ain't got nothing, right?
That's right. Speaking of humor, James.
Speaking of humor, can someone please tell me what LGBTQ plus stands for? Nobody's giving me a straight answer.
For a second there, I didn't know. You usually like give me a heads up that you're about to give your corny ass joke, and I thought that was an actual question for a second there.
Blame Benjamin P. Dixon. It was Benjamin P. Dixon. It was Ben. He said, "Speaking of humor, oh, you set me up, bro. Cool."
Hey man, wait a minute. Wait. Listen. That was neither planned nor rehearsed. I just want to say that was as smooth as Dwayne Wade alley-ooping LeBron James in the 2013 finals. I'm sorry. This is
finesse that. Damn,
James, you caught that way quicker than I.
The whole page is sitting up here right now. I'm just like, oh yeah, humor, laugh. Oh, y'all got it now.
Oh man!
All right.
You had me looking over at the comments. Like I was going to be like, what are they saying in the comments? What LGBTQ plus? Like, I did not know what that means. Wait a second.
Wait a minute. How the hell does James of all people? How you don't know what LGBTQIA means? Because I thought he was serious for a second there.
Oh, man.
I was like. Is James catching this alley oop that quick, or does he really not know what LGBTQIA means?
I don't know what the last three of them stand for, but it's okay. It's cool. I'm part of the community. It's all right. It don't matter. I get a pass.
It was a good one. It was a good one, Bubba.
I try to stay. I try out of respect and allyship. I try to stay on top of them. I try to, but you know. Anyway, I'm moving on because I'll get canceled. Pascal, Jesse Smollett. Jesse Smollett's legal team pushes for an emergency release following a threatening call. According to reports, Jesse Smollett's lawyers want the actor immediately sprung from jail, claiming that he and his family are the targets of vicious threats, including a phone call that alluded to the notorious case of a sodomized New York City man. So basically, he got some threatening phone calls saying that he was going to get sexually assaulted in jail and all sorts of things.
I'm sorry. Sorry, man. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to be so serious, dude. God, sexual assault is not a joke, even in jail, James. I'm like, come on, man. We can't laugh about
it's not. But juicy is.
I mean, unless it's like Vladimir Putin in jail. But
we're talking about juicy though. We're talking about juicy though,
and that's why I'm like, I'm sorry, I had to laugh. Sexual assault is very serious. It is very hurtful, but juicy. Juicy.
You got me weak, man. All right, please continue. Benjamin, please.
David, take me down.
Leave him up. Because that's it. That's the whole story. I got nothing else. That's it. He don't want to go to jail.
Because you got to remember, right after he got his sentencing, he said, "I'm not Sean Kingston. I am not Sean Kingston."
Suicidal.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not Sean Kingston, right?
Now wait,
but then next thing he's in the psychiatric ward. So the psychiatric or the psych ward part of the jail. So it's like, you good, man. You get extra jello over there. You're gonna be all right. Right? But yeah, now he's sitting here saying that he's worried that he's going to be assaulted. I just keep thinking I'm sorry. He just keeps making more stuff up, pulling things out his butthole.
All he had to do,
sorry, he's pulling things out of ass and going, hey, I'm making things up. Now, I am going to be a political martyr. That's the role I'm going to play now. I'm going to summon Denzel in Malcolm X. I am not Sean Kingston. That's what he's doing the entire time.
Did y'all see that courtroom tirade?
That was so stupid. Man, I wish we could relive that again. Gay Tupac again. I'm sorry, I just don't have time for this. I don't understand why people are so supportive of this man. He is a liar. He is literally everything that any person, the Benjamin Dixon show, any other platform that has come out and tried to talk about pushing the narrative, trying to change people's lives, save people's lives. And he took full advantage of that for his own financial and celebrity gain. And we're still out. People are still out here trying to protect him. I'm sorry. That's just me. I just
no, man.
Patience for this.
Nah.
Yeah,
I go ahead, James.
I'm about to say I don't feel bad for the man. You know, I'm just trying to figure out. First of all, initial thought is, why the hell you did it in the first place?
Why
the hell you did it in the first place? And then you try to blame the man that you was over here. See, we still on Georgia Fort show, Benjamin, and I can't be talking about these types of things.
Wait, change the branding.
Yeah, I was waiting to say my comment after.
Should I
tell you what?
That on this segment? I'm so sorry.
No, we're a little. Our timing is a little discombobulated today. We haven't switched our brandings like we normally do. But
it's usually discombobulated. Yeah, discombobulated. Yeah.
Discombobulated.
Here's the thing. I don't know where Georgia Ford stands on this issue, but I'm sure she would laugh too, because James, this boy should be at home chilling right now, but he needed some attention, so he's sitting in jail. Like,
you could be at home chilling with them two fine ass men that you got in trouble. You could have been chilling, but now you want to say, "Hey, man, let's make some money, man. Go ahead and just like, you know, just say that y'all beat me up or whatever. We know that ain't happened, and then we be good." But no, you want to just play this goddamn game like you just stupid. You just blew your whole damn career over nothing.
Nothing.
And like you weren't doing bad either. You were doing good. You would have had a damn great career, but here it is. So you stay relevant. You want to say that a MAGA supporter beat you up? You stupid ass man.
Thank you. Thank you. And yet there are people out here wanting to defend that ass. And
well, you know why we do it though, man. Y'all know why we do it. Y'all know we be.
Why do we do it, Ben? Because goddamn it, tell me.
You know,
write it down for all of us so we all understand.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying this is right. I'm saying this is because it's a bad habit that we have as a Black community. Like our gut instinct is to try to protect our people first, because we know this system is just buck wild on any given day. They could just this system will make up something and kill you like Emmett Till. Right. So our gut instinct is to always jump and defend some Black folks. But there's some Black folks we need to let go of just as quick as we used to defend them, because R. Kelly, you know, let's go down the list. You know, Bill Cosby, love you, mean it, got a picture with you. But, you know, Jesse Smollett, different cases, different degrees, obviously not the same thing at all. But, you know, we got to be willing to cut off some of these people because they're not doing us any good as a community. So
Trey Songz too.
I don't know the whole story with Trey Songz. What's the whole story?
What Trey did?
Man, he got some accusations out here.
Oh no, Trey.
You know what I'm saying? Because he
wait, sexual assault allegations, isn't it? Or is that not right? I don't want to. Okay.
Many. Man.
Wow.
He's in the middle of doing that kind of stuff. So yeah. So these are all accusations, but people are trying to put him on the cancel block. You know what I mean? Cancellation chopping.
Well,
yeah.
Listen, man. Listen, if you, like, so we got to be willing to cancel people in our own community. Like, I'm not with the whole. I don't care. Cancel. I like accountability. You do something, you're held accountable, man. So period. Like, I don't call that cancellation. If that man is out there sexually assaulting people, he need to carry his ass to jail. Do not pass go. Don't collect $200. Carry ass to jail with Jesse Smollett.
Juicy.
Juicy. Hey, can you hang out a few more minutes, Pascal? I know you just got here. We're gonna break and bring the queen in properly. We're gonna do let's do that real quick.
Pascal,
James, it's in your hands, man.
It was one of those things. He was like, King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
I put cases on all.
I got cases on all y'all.
You know what I mean?
We run this.
We've been led astray, bamboozled. We didn't let on Plymouth Rock landed on us. Summoning Denzel. I'm just saying. He's looking for his new book and his new Lifetime movie. Watch.
You said it right. New Lifetime movie, because he ain't going nowhere else.
He ain't got nothing to do but sell this story at some point. He don't make no other money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He could star. He could be Juicy Smollett as Juicy Smollett in. You know what I mean? Done.
James, take a super quick break. Okay. Like it or not, it's going down right after this.
Oh man. All right, y'all. Like it or not, it's starting up next. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned.
Tell me what it is.
And while we're waiting, we're gonna get our new Twitch subscribers and Patreon members read off.
Tell me what it is, don't tell me what it ain't. They try to throw salt, it just made the pressure raise. Going through a phase, gotta get myself out it. Don't talk about it, boy, they said you gotta be about it. So I be trying to face the world head on. Front seat riding, cruising down the meadows. Pedal to the meadow, cool breeze blowing down the windows. Calm trees, blowing trees, get that boy some headroom. On the interstate in traffic, but I swerve out. So what's the moves for the night? What's the word now? What's the links?
All right, y'all. New Patreon members first. We have Benjamin B, Randy Y, and Derek S. Shout out to y'all, man, for joining that Patreon. New Twitch subscribers. It's a good bit. So we'll get these read off real quick. Hey, Adam Bomb. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Aaron. Stop. Hey, Adam Bomb B. The Chicken Fried Dragon gifted one gifted 1 month subscription to Dutch Antifa Dragon, Roller Dragon, Orpheus Alcon, Felicity _91, and Marty C59, and a 6-month subscription to Roland Martin Unfiltered. Shout out to Chicken Fried Dragon, y'all. We had Tiger Katsune, who's 13, who's resubscribed with Prime and commented, Bubba, I'm gonna need a whole track list with artists and titles from the March 9th show, and I will literally pay you. Yo, all fire. You're at the top of your game today, Mr. DJ. And Tiger has been subscribed for 11 months, about to be a whole year. Good job, Tiger. Rich's 558 resubscribed, and they've been resubscribed for 12 months. Thank you, Rich's. He made a whole year. Blue Daddy 2 resubscribed with Prime. Soy Dolphy resubscribed and commented, best morning show ever. And they've been subscribed for 6 months. Miss MX Slytherin resubscribed and commented, love y'all, keep up the good work. Been subscribed for 7 months. Trekkie21 resubscribed and commented, thank you to Ben, our lovely co-host, and as well as the mods who make this an informative and entertaining place to spend my morning. Appreciate you all. They've been subscribed for 3 months. And who else am I missing? Siskiyou Cat resubscribed. They've been subscribed for 18 months. Hey, Siskiyou Cat, welcome. Love you, mean it. Siskiyou Cat also gifted a community subscription. Siskiyou Cat also cheered 500 bits. Shout out to Rachel Letney, who cheered 1,000 bits, and our Twitch community completed a level 2 hype train. Woo! Shout out to everybody, man. Love y'all. Meaning, if you have not already, patreon.com/likeitnornot, patreon.com/the BPD show. Go ahead and become a member today and act.tv.com. And y'all know what time it is. Let's go ahead and get it started so it won't be so damn long, because Ben said the song's so long, so we go ahead and play it now. I might have to fast forward through it because Ben fucking said the song long. All right, y'all stay tuned, man. Like it or not, it's I'm all tongue-tied this morning, and I blame all of you. All of y'all. All of y'all. She got a good story for you. Oh, it's long all the time, Rebecca. I know, I'm working on the remix. This is his show. He's a parlor. David, take me down real quick so I can go turn my AC on. I'm sweating like being going back in church. DJ exclusive. Y'all know who I am. I stay dropping them jams. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, y'all stick around. Oh, like it or not, it's starting now. Like it or not, it's about to go down.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
Oh, your microphone.
Yeah, she's on mute and she's a little laggy. There it is. There it is. Woo! Zoom, and no, this is not even Zoom. It's just interwebs in 2022. Welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like me.
You better come through, radio voice.
Listen, I was like, listen, if they ain't gonna hear me, I just ain't meant to be on today. You see what I'm saying? I just, you know.
Queen Azor is in the house.
Y'all had to get up because it's hot. It got hot in here. Y'all heard what
did
says?
Did you say at the
like
end?
being walking back in church.
Man, look here, man. Now listen. I've been going to hang out with some pastors lately. You know, I've been praying. I'm like, Jesus, you got to keep me from the COVID, keep me from the B613 variant. Don't let none of these preachers sweat and preach.
Deltacron is actually what's out there on the map right now. I know it sounds like we heard it before, but we made that up before we made up Omicron, and now Deltacron.
Didn't we? Okay.
So yeah. Well, anyways, what's up, Pascal? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, Rebecca?
You looking like a deacon while Ben's over here trying to walk back and forth from church because it's too hot. You looking like the deacon. I've
tried to go back.
Of the deaconess or the woman at the door who's like this, like when you're trying to come in about 5 minutes late to church, she got the door closed like this, and she got her finger out the crack of the door like this. She's waiting until the prayer is over, and then she lets you in. And then when she lets you, she's rude, holding on to the doorknob with her little finger out the door. And then finally, when the prayer is over, she opens and is like, "Hey, baby, how you doing? How's your mama?" Right, go sit over there in the third row. This room right there for you. And I'd be like, lady, you were just so rude. I don't even want to church no more. I don't want to church no more.
No more church. I don't want to church no more.
Jesus.
Oh man.
Lord.
Anyways, what's been happening in the streets? I don't even know what's going on, y'all. I just had a really long day yesterday, and I rolled over and I was like, work. And so I had to clip the wig on because the wig hasn't been on all weekend. I'll tell you guys why. So I, I love like pineapples and like mangoes. I'm Haitian, right? So you get it. I like some mangoes. I'm from Florida, it's whatever. But I said every time I eat the mangoes, I get like a crazy situation happening out here. Like it's just like a really bad rash. It's the skin on the mango. Yeah, it's the skin on the mango. So I have to take off the skin of the mangoes. And then it's the pineapples. They deteriorate my taste bud. And that's a real thing. That's a real thing. I Googled it because I said, why every time I eat pineapples, I feel like it's just taking away everything in my mouth. I can't taste nothing. I can't smell nothing. It is not COVID-19. It's like I just feel like there's so much going on. So I Googled it, and they said there are, for some people, the whatever's inside of pineapples, it's actually eating away at your mouth, but your mouth fights it back, right?
Like a Captain Crunch.
So, yeah, something like that. And then or whatever. So I said, I'm just gonna eat these pineapples because they're so good. I don't know where Kroger. I was like, these set of pineapple I bought from Kroger. I was like, oh, they're just so good. They're amazing. They're fresh. Wow. The Target near me could never, because they sell rotten pineapples and stuff. I was like, and it's the upscale Target, but them folks love them rotten fruits. I don't know. But the Target near me can never. And then so anyways, I woke up the next morning and I'm like, oh, okay, it's a little swollen, right? It's just a little swollen. So now I'm like, I'm not gonna mess with it. Now my mustache is growing in heavy. So at this point, I knew I gotta hit.
There's a lot going on here.
I gotta hit the mustache. And so I did. And then at the same time, I put like, it's not like Benadryl, but it's something else like witch hazel on it to just kind of like calm down the swelling from eating the pineapples and mangoes. Oh, I should have never ran that. I should never hit it with the razor, baby. Because the next day, now you guys, I didn't know if I want to come on the show today. Now it was crazy.
Get a close up.
It was so crazy. It was just swollen. Now I got like bumps all up here. Then I got a rash all up here. It's crazy. Now it's like
really?
Now.
I can't tell.
Oh man,
it was bad. It was bad. But now, no, because this morning I kind of woke up. I still got a little leftover right here. But this morning I woke up and my skin was falling apart, guys. I was shedding like it was crazy. But because I know how to take care of my skin or whatever, I got so many skin products. I utilized Haitian castor oil, witch hazel again, dabbed it with that. Haitian castor oil always does a trick because I just thought that my face was falling apart. And then I woke up this morning.
What's the difference between Haitian castor oil and regular castor oil?
It's Haitian.
Is there a difference?
It's Haitian castor oil.
Because there's a Jamaican castor oil too.
But it don't do what Haitian castor oil do. They can sell Jamaican castor oil all day inside of the stores, but it will never do what Haitian castor oil do. I'm gonna just put it on that like that.
That's that. So I'm gonna have to get a bottle to compare.
Yeah,
wow.
Ben, I can definitely I can hook you up, but it has to come. They sell it in the stores, and the only one that I trust right now is Haitian Essence, or I have that, and that's good, but it comes in a nice packaged bottle. Now the one that you got coming from Haiti that's wrapped up in a water bottle, taped over about 4-5 times, that's the one that heals you from the inside out.
Well, where can you get that one from? Damn, because that one sound like
from Haiti.
Can you get me a bottle?
They got it at the bottom of the suitcase, like
Pascal, can you confirm this? Can you verify this?
Everything from Haiti's better. I'm sorry. The rum is better. Everything. I'm sorry.
Look, we need to have a discussion offline, Rebecca and Pascal.
We got a little extra, you know what I'm saying? Je ne sais quoi. You know what I'm saying? In our stuff. So that's why everything's, that's why Rebecca looks like Rebecca and why I look like.
It's true. Yeah, y'all couldn't tell I was looking like a little gremlin in the street for 4 days, and I just woke up and I said, "God, ancestors, heal me."
And they all came out, and they went,
they laid hands, and then I woke up like, "Oh my God, I woke up like this." I woke up like this. So yeah, it definitely works out.
Definitely head off of a chicken, and
Yeah.
What was that, David?
I was like, why?
And then
I was like, what did I say?
A nice little bonfire. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Wait, y'all. Okay, you can take us down. They talking about putting stuff on fire now. Ain't got nothing to do with that.
Nah, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I ain't setting that on fire.
All right.
I mean, never mind.
I'm here. My skin is looking amazing. Got a little bit more to go, but she will be back to normal by tomorrow because God bless me with good skin anyway. So
there it is.
I hate her.
There it is.
Damn right.
Love it.
Won't he do it?
Won't he will?
Won't he will?
Won't he? Won't he? Won't he? Won't
he? Y'all so black. Ooh, y'all so black.
Won't he? Won't he? Won't he? Won't he?
Oh.
Shout out to Jacksonville. Won't he? Won't he? Okay. And Rebecca, what you want to do? Where you want to start? Because I think I might have gone. In my haste, I went through
juicy fruit.
Yeah, we went through all the stories.
Oh, you want to that's okay, Ben? Because at the end of the day, we can always run it back with me. I know that there's so much going on in the world, and
just toss her the ball.
Go. Oh, open up the. I can't stand Rebecca. So
there's so much going on in the world. There's just so much going on in the world, and I think that
it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. But the one I want to do is. We can go back to Jussie Smollett since you guys are talking about juicy fruit, but I will say this about Jussie Smollett as I look for you guys. I can't find y'all. Okay, there y'all go. I would say this about the Jussie Smollett situation case, right? He did that. He did it. He did that. He did that thing. The only thing is, throw him on house arrest. Have him in the streets. Having required to go pick up trash on the side of the streets. I know that may not be enough because let me tell you, when I first heard the story of Jussie Smollett, right, or what he did, the lying, the next day, that's not funny. The next day he got on stage and he said on stage after the incident to perform. He grabbed the microphone, and with that microphone, he said to the people that sat there in support of him, thinking that he was a product of a hate crime, right? That he experienced a hate crime. He told that audience, they ain't gonna hold me down. And this is not verbatim, but you can Google it. They're not gonna hold me down. They can't hold me down. I am the gay Tupac. Dropped the mic and walked away.
He did.
What? But I missed that part.
You see the video.
He did. Man,
I got the link already. But anyway.
Okay. Send the link over, man. Send the link over in the chat room.
They can see what I'm talking about.
It's amazing. But he had a moment before he said, I'm the gay Tupac. Before he said that, he hesitated. You see it. He kind of walks away like, should I say?
He leaned in.
F it, I'm gonna say it.
He had a Kanye moment.
Right.
And then he's like,
Did I send
don't
it?
know why I just said that, but I did say it. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's like, wow. You know what I'm saying? It's so funny. But man, this man, that gets me weak. Hold on, I'm gonna say
I did not know there was a gay Tupac
That's just
moment.
like me saying I'm the gay Biggie. What the hell? No.
I mean,
the gay Rick Ross.
now that we're on to something here.
The biggest boss that you've seen us, huh?
We're on to something here. But honestly, when I saw that and I heard it, I was like, okay, something's fishy about this. But that's neither here or there for me to judge, because this man said that he went through this. And I want us to continue to believe the people that are saying that they're going through hate crimes. But I hate that it's almost like when women come out and say that they've been abused by a man, and when it comes out to be a lie, you know, the first thing that we want to do is believe them. But when it comes out to be a lie, it's like, why would you go out when we're already having a hard time having people believe that women are being abused? Right. Now you're coming out here, you let this thing stretch out. Speaking of Chris Brown and his recent situation, but we'll get to that on another day. But you know, now you're speaking out and it's making it, and you're lying, and it's all because the man didn't text you back, the man didn't call you back. There are real situations in this world, and for me, Jussie Smollett, somebody of a high caliber, to go out and be, you know, creating lies. I'm talking about cutting up newspaper letters and putting them as ransom notes. You created your own ransom note, my guy. You literally choked yourself out. Had the man that you were intimate with literally beat your behind and then go to the hospital and say they whipped your behind. It's
because you wanted to role play that night.
Right.
I was just say that.
You allowed the police department, who we don't even already trust. We say 13 because F12. We'll skip over 12, right? But we know that we need them. Right? When we need them. We'll pray that God sends somebody that's trustworthy. But I have to say, the police department at that time, especially in Chicago, was dealing with so much other stuff. Had to, because it's a high profile case with Jussie Smollett, had to push.
They were trying to cover up
that one. Yeah. And then they had to turn around and be like, let's go ahead and the feds take care of this and see what's going on. To make statements saying that, man, we got your back, Jussie, all of this, only to be like, damn, Jussie, you had us running around town. People was getting
crazy
and all kinds of stuff. And we had to come over here and do 6 jobs for you. Now, I say that to say, what they're doing now is almost like, yeah, you made us look like a fool. So we're going to make sure you pay the price. But I'm like, we don't need to be on that. We got a lot of black men in there serving time for no reason. Put an ankle on his brace, put a bracelet on his ankle, sit him in the house like it's another round of the pandemic for him, so he can sit down and think about what he's done. And I do not think that at this juncture, right, of the whole thing, we know that there's a mental issue happening. And I don't want us to miss that. There's a mental issue. He's a manipulative person. I said it already. He did that thing. I said that already. He should have never utilized hate crime and falsified that it happened to him. I said that already. But we already have enough going on with black men being in jail. And for small things. And I'm not saying that this was small.
Wow.
Y'all let this thing drag. And then all of a sudden, y'all put this man who you know has a mental issue, a whole mental issue, behind bars. But here's my thing. He's so manipulative. He made sure to highlight his mental issue when he sat there in that chair and then told them people, I did not die by suicide. I did not commit suicide. And I said, you know what you're doing. You play too much. You know what you're doing. But at the same time, he's on the verge, and we have to make sure we monitor him because he's liable to do so or hurt himself, with the idea that he's making about himself in his head. I don't know, but I don't play about mental illness. But go ahead, Pascal. You've been touching that mic like you want to spit something. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just moving it out the way because it's just right up in my face.
That's part of your.
I will say this though,
James.
What?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I'm sorry, I don't have any.
Y'all better leave that white demon alone. That cocaine that have you doing some crazy
Put
stuff
that in your body. It's a hell of a drug. I'll tell you this. And number two, I hear you on it. I hear you 100%, Rebecca, on the fact that we got more of our black men incarcerated for even the littlest of crimes, right? for freaking speeding tickets, for crying out loud, it seems like. But I do feel like what this man has done is just an unspeakable, unthinkable thing.
Right.
And for him to, and I feel like there's another side, there's the other shoe, right? There's the other side of the fence where what if he did get that just a slap on the wrist and he got the anklet and he just had to do house arrest for like, say, 2 months on good behavior or whatever you want to call it. I feel like there'd be another side of the world very upset saying, hey, look, see, this is what financial privilege grants you. Oh, so he does this heinous crime to himself. He puts out this hoax, lies to the general public, and yet he is going to go pay a fine. And he's going to be able to walk scot-free. Sure, he won't be able to work ever again because he's an artist. And given the fact you snuff his creativity and his creative juices, that's prison as well. I'm obviously quoting Taraji P. Henson. But you're telling me that people are going to be happy with that, okay, he got what he deserved? No, I feel like there's going to be the other side of the other. Like it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation. You can't please everybody, but at the same time, this is a perfect example for any other person out here that's ever tried to think up a hate crime to do to themselves. I'm just saying, it's kind of about it. Hey, think about it. This is a cautionary tale for anyone else who wants to try to do something out here as stupid as Jussie Smollett did. You see what I'm saying? So for me, I feel some type of way.
So you feel like he should do the time?
Absolutely.
How much time?
It's only 150 days.
That's what. Okay, so 150 days. You're right, but I feel like Jussie Smollett definitely did that thing. He did it. It was wrong. He did it. And I also feel like him doing that lets me know he's mentally not okay, and we shouldn't bypass that either. And for he thrives off of being the star of the moment. I think that's why he did it in the first place. Yes, he's a narcissist. And I think that y'all, both of them, David, I just really, I don't know, y'all. Of seeing a black man go to jail for something like, and I can't say it was light. See, I'm with you, Rebecca. I was on your team, Pascal, when it first started. I was like, yo, send that man to jail. It's just so many people out here, part of the LGBTQIA plus community, who are suffering, who are dying on the street, who are being abused, who listen. And then the police officers, who we already don't like, are spending all that money that they get every day on a situation that ain't got nothing to do because it ain't real. And they got people that's really dying in the street, and they can actually go and be a police officer and show themselves doing some true work. I agreed with you 100%, especially when it first happened. But me seeing how the police department can abuse their power in that moment too was very interesting, because they made sure that they put their claws into this thing, as if this man killed 10 people, as if he walked up to a protest with an AK something, right? As if he opened the doors of a church and killed people for no reason. That's how the police department decided to treat this. And that's what bothered me the most. And that let me know in that particular moment what I needed to know.
I mean, I definitely see your point. I had a discussion about this the other day on my show, and people came on, they were throwing in their 2 cents about this as well. And I hear that. Yeah. I fully get it. I mean, I could see both sides of this. I just feel like personally, I'm going to say it. I took it personal. Yeah. And I took it out
because it's so corny.
This is me as a black man in this country where I have to sit there and I have to fight to get my word out there, fight to get heard. If something ever was to God forbid, anything happen to me or mines, and I have to fight for that, but then he is a celebrity. He has the money. He got a lot more money than me. He got the name out there. He utilized all that stuff to be heard by 5-0, right? And they responded quickly. It became national news. Do you know how many other stories that don't get national news that could have been, those stories could have been spent on, missing children's stories, missing person stories, other acts of injustice that's happened out in these streets. And we were occupied over Juicy Smollett, the gay Tupac. And it frustrates me. At that time, I'm saying all of that. It's not just only him just being a black man. It's all the other stuff that he took advantage of because he is a black man.
Yeah.
Celebrity and financial privilege. We have that gay Tupac video. I wanted to show you guys that I sent.
Yes.
To,
I want to see that so people can see I ain't lying. It happened.
Right.
Oh God, here we go.
Is there sound to it?
There's
I was bruised, but my ribs were not. Okay.
All right, we go.
Not our interpreter.
Right.
All right, we'll get the audio for that. Here it is.
There we go.
I was bruised, but my ribs were not cracked. They were not broken. I went to the doctor immediately. Frank Gatson drove me. I was not hospitalized. Both my doctors in LA and Chicago cleared me to perform, but said to take care, obviously. And above all, I fought the fuck back. I'm the gay Tupac. So now
I'm the gay Tupac.
Yeah, the Academy Award goes to
Juicy.
He played that role.
Look, and I'll say this, I gotta agree with Pascal with what he said, but I gotta take it a step further because as a black gay man doing all this, and for him to have done that, he betrayed all us because we're already a minority in several communities.
In a minority,
in a minority community. So here it is now. When it's all this stuff is going on, especially this is when a lot of trans killings were going on and trans violence going on. So now you want to come out and say that you were attacked, but then your attackers turned out to be two people that you was playing with. So now you got our whole damn gay community looking like some stupid asses out here, man.
No, they were just working out.
They were working out.
Working out.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all been on the OnlyFans lately, but working out is a whole new
category.
Well, you know, workouts. It's crazy.
Rebecca.
Work it out. I would say, you know, he said that, and I was like, you don't find that suspicious? You don't find that
suspicious?
Anyway, you know what? He deserved. You know, everything that came to him after that, you know, he fell from grace. We see what I'm saying? A lot of people that stuck up for him couldn't even speak up for him in that moment. We didn't hear from Taraji P. Henson because I know she was hurt after speaking up in the first time, that first day, trying to love on him, and then only to realize, boy, you did not
got played
go
too.
out here and lie again. And I already had to, because you remember there's an instance that Taraji had to stick up for her son. Meanwhile, her real son in real life don't lie that he was attacked by the police at his school. And then she had to come out with a statement and say, I am sorry, I believe my son. I should have done a little bit more research. I think that's why Taraji decided after making her statement, then realizing the man was lying, she had to be quiet. For years, she hadn't said anything. And then she stepped out. But I think on this reasoning, she's just like, he doesn't deserve all of that. Maybe he should go and get checked in. Maybe he should, something needs to happen. But that man, he did that.
I agree. I know we got to move on because Pascal, I know you got to go, but I just want to say this. I agree with all of y'all. And I know that doesn't make sense, but I don't think that he should be spending more time in jail than the people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th. I don't think that he should be spending more time in jail than Donald Trump, than some of these people who are out there doing that.
Bubble, you gotta because Ben dropped some key stuff right there.
He did, but you know, David got to bring me in on a separate channel. So, but by the time I even play the damn horn, it's just like
it's delayed.
Oh wait, now he did it. I ain't even ready yet.
Well, at the same time,
there we go.
Hood level. Hey, we just unlocked a new hood level achievement right there. Right?
Yeah, it definitely unlocked it. Okay, so
that took me back to the Rolex. Anyway, then the other thing.
No, Ben, we gotta go to the next story before your homeboy leave. Look, it's always your friend. Before your friend leave.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll get my other point in another time. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Okay, no, hold that point though, Ben. You know, if you want to drop it right now, you can. I'm not gonna stop you on your own.
No, I honestly forgot it, so you're gonna have to let me come back to it. Go ahead.
True. All right. No, amen, because I forget my stuff too. If you hit me right at that moment, I'm gonna forget about it. Don't come to me again. Yep. Anywho, so Jane Campion, you know, I think recently she's a director, and she was recently at what was the awards? The Critics' Choice Awards. Critics' Choice Awards. Okay, because we don't really watch the award shows like that no more. But she was there, and they had to say she's a white woman from New Zealand. Like, lady, we can look at her and see. She was accepting.
Oh my God!
No, she does. She's a white woman. But she was accepting the award for the. I don't know why they put that in this article. A white woman from New Zealand. That's ridiculous.
Right? It's like,
she was, and I know here's why though. But she was accepting the award.
Oh, NPR said that. Hell
yes,
NPR.
She was accepting the award for the best director for her film, The Power of the Dog. Y'all saw that movie?
No.
Y'all know what movie that is?
No.
Y'all know where to find it?
It's on Netflix.
Netflix, I guess.
What's his name? Benedict Cumberbatch is in it.
Oh, that's that movie. Okay.
So now I gotta
Dr.
go
Strange.
about what this movie talking about. Is it about a dog?
Come see about a dog.
I think it's just like a Western kind of thing.
Okay.
Cowboys or something.
Maybe dog is the name of the guy. So, anyways, in her speech, Campion. So I've been saying her name wrong. Campion, the only woman nominated in the category. Okay, so that's a big deal. She's the only woman nominated in the category itself. She praised the Williams sisters as marvels in their craft. Like, lady, you in film, and we. Okay, but the Williams sisters is marvels in their craft, but implied that the two Black women, because they see NPR is messy, the two Black women did not face the same battles in gender equality as women in film. You got that video?
Oh, in film.
Yeah, in film. But I want you guys to take a look at what she said and tell me how you feel about it.
Okay.
What? All right.
Look.
Yeah. Dun, dun.
Give my love out to my fellow, the guys. Give my love out to my fellow, the guys. Nominees and you know, Serena and Venus, you are such marvels. However, you do not play against the guys like I have to.
Y'all, what's wrong with y'all? Get her out of here. So, Jane.
I'm processing.
Hold up. Can you? Do you mind? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you play that one more time?
Play it again.
Marvels.
Play it again.
And you know, Serena and Venus, you are such marvels. There we go. However, you do not play against the guys like I have to.
So after her
very much cringe.
Okay, so it was cringe when I watched it, but people.
He said she did that.
She did that. She did that. She definitely
guilty as charged.
But so for us, it's like, okay, you don't understand and you don't know, ma'am. I don't know. It's like she wanted to say, you guys are marvels. You guys are Black women who struggle every day in this sport. You guys, you're discriminated against, but you're not discriminated against as I am in film. I have to deal with the battle of working against men and going against men. And it's like, ma'am, lady, what? Let me tell you something. What I hate to see is when white women, white women literally will look to be oppressed somewhere so bad. And we're like, okay, so are you taking away the fact that these two aren't women and have to deal with what you're dealing with every single day? Like in taking jobs, because they not only work in the sports arena, they have clothing lines, they have skincare lines, they have all kinds of stuff that they have to deal with. But you're saying because they are only Marvels and you have to push them over right there into only sports, but you ain't me though, because I do this thing right up here against men. And it's like, see, this is our problem. You don't have to look the two Black women in the face and point them out and tell them what the difference is between, what they're discriminated against. And you also are making them smaller when they already are the minorities in the room. Now, not only that, they were saying I'm Venus's face all day. I'm looking like, but what the hell? And somebody was like, well, the replay of the video people were posting as Serena's hugging Jane. Serena is clapping and rooting for Jane. And, and I want you guys to understand that a lot of us have been conditioned throughout our life to laugh off moments where white people will make you feel small in a joke or whatever the case may be. I've sat in boardrooms, I've sat in school meetings. I've sat in all of these places and where white people will make a comment and say something and you just have to laugh it off so that you don't enrage yourself or be upset, because at those times, especially years when we were growing up, we weren't allowed to feel those feelings. And so, I am exactly this face right here when she said what she said. But what did you guys get from the moment? Should social media have been outraged for the Williams sisters, or should they just have looked at it simply as just a comment that was made to show that in many different places women are struggling?
I look at it as probably both. I think the comment wasn't meant to. It should have been meant to empower, because looking around the room, the other actresses that were in the room were, clapping and we're all for the comment. But it's just like you singling them out and just taking discrediting them from what they're doing in their field, from what they do.
That's right.
So if you could have, you say, you're marvels in what you do, but y'all don't have to compete in basically you saying in this industry with film and making, like they got to compete in a whole nother set of things over here, because with them they have to worry about distribution deals. They're gonna have to worry about products and marketing stuff, all this other kind of stuff that they have to think about in a male dominated industry. So I understand that it's the same with video and film, but I mean, come on now, they have it equally as hard too. So I don't think there's no comparison when it comes to it. She should have just held her comment to herself a little bit. I understand what she was trying to do, but she just held it.
So you ain't riding the fence. You knew it. She said that thing. She said it. She did that. She said it.
What's Pascal.
Oh, it's my turn. I thought we were going to go around this way. So what else?
I'm going. I'm not getting it. No, go ahead.
I'll go last. Okay, fine. This makes me think of something, because as soon as she started saying, "Oh, you didn't have to play against men like me," going into these offices and showing my work and all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, being a female director to begin with, doesn't matter what race, is very hard out here in these streets.
Right.
I get it. But it also made me think about this thing that happened this past weekend. Naomi Osaka was playing against, and she was heckled, and she it threw off her entire game. She couldn't even concentrate. She was crying and all that because somebody out there was screaming at her saying that she sucks. There's a reason why I'm saying this story. It's because when she went to the microphone later, she said, "This is the same spot. This is the same area."
Talk about it, Pascal.
That Serena and Venus Williams were heckled at. They were throwing out racial slurs and all that. They were booed as they walked out onto the court because, they were the only Black players at that time, Black female tennis players at that time. So when I look at something like that, the amount of diversity that those two women have gone through, nothing compares to that. She cannot sit here and say, "Oh, you didn't have to go into a room filled with men and try to be a director and have a movie about dogs come out, and win an award." You know what I'm saying? But you got to understand the amount of diversity that these women, those two women and their father had to stand up against. I mean, Arthur Ashe, any of these other Black or people of color athletes that are in a predominantly white game, white sport, I'm sorry, nothing compares. So she really shouldn't have said what she said. I get that. I get why Serena maybe was like, yes, women empowerment type of thing, but I don't think she was really listening. Venus, though, you see the look on her face. She's like, that face.
What the hell?
This way?
Like I said, I think Serena was in everything you said was on the money. Praise God for Jesus. I love it because everything you said was on the money. And to use Naomi Osaka as an example is clear because who did she say was an example for her? She said Venus and Serena. She didn't say Jane Campion. She didn't say that. And no offense,
she gonna be like, who?
Yeah, because Jane is that for somebody else, but you have to understand the importance of these Black women in the game. Venus was the one to fight to make sure that as a woman in the game, as a Black woman in this game, that she was paid equal to a white man who played the same sport. Stop playing with me in these streets. Stop playing with me in these streets. So when you get up there and you tell them that they're not against men, it's a lie. It's a lie. And we're not going to use that narrative to sell anything, not to raise yourself up. If you wanted to do so, you didn't have to name Venus and Serena. You should have named your other white counterpart friends sitting in the room.
Or just women in general.
Just women in general.
It's so hard to be in a room full of men and all that stuff. I get that.
But we're not going to, in order to raise ourselves up, to make ourselves seem like you good, but you ain't as good as me. Because this is what I got to deal with. We're not doing that. We're not, especially when you white. In 2022, to billionaire Black women, we're not doing that. Because it tells me that you wanted to show the ones that are shining the most in this room, let me dim their light. And in that moment, Venus probably tried, but her face was not letting her do what needed to be done. And then Serena was just showing what she's used to doing in rooms like that. Let me laugh it off because I'll be home with my kid and my husband and a few.
Right.
What you're used to. Sometimes being just passive with that thing. Just be like, okay, I'm going to let that roll off me. Jane, I still mess with you. Love you, mean it. I ain't even got time to put energy into that. Somebody had to read her. So you know who did it? Us on Twitter. We was like, girl, if you don't go, Jane, who are you? Who are you to say anything about this Black woman? She ain't got to be mad, but we going to be mad for her because
who are me to judge?
How many times have we sat in a room for a job interview?
Come on.
And the girl next to us, white, beautiful white woman, sitting next to us. We doing 6 jobs while they doing 2. And they were the ones that were chosen. How many times have we been the Serena, the Venus in the rooms at the moment? How many times? So you don't know. We gonna fight. We gonna fight. We gonna fight. Anyways,
especially, I'm just playing with you.
Look at me.
We are.
What else?
Y'all see how Rebecca just skipped right over me? Rebecca don't even. I don't even get no love.
You didn't want to say nothing about it. I apologize.
No,
what is your comment on the situation? I don't
have anything to say about it.
Wow.
I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
No. For real. I just want to say.
Oh, sorry.
Campion. No, real quick. Campion really just was so full of herself in that moment that she didn't see that big old blind spot coming. That she just get hit back, and that happens to people who are so quote unquote successful. Then they trying to now elevate themselves. She really should have slowed down and considered for a moment that the Blackness itself separates the experience as a Black person separates her from anything else that she would ever experience. So I didn't know. I just my first time seeing the clip, Rebecca. Thank you for bringing that story up. I didn't know anything about that.
I wanted to clarify though. She did apologize. She made a comment and said, I made a thoughtless comment equating what I do in the film world with all that Serena Williams and Venus Williams have achieved. I did not intend to devalue these 2 legendary Black women and world-class athletes. He said this on Monday in a statement. And then she said, the fact is Williams sisters have actually squared off against men on the court and off, and they have both raised the bar and opened doors for what is possible for women in this sport. The last thing I would ever want to do is minimize remarkable women. So if you knew that fact, why you said what you said?
Yeah, see, but
because she didn't think about it beforehand.
Can I say something real quick? Can I say
Go
something?
ahead, say it.
So this is the reason why you get whoever wrote that speech, that little comment, that apology.
It wasn't Jane?
I don't think so.
Hell no, I wouldn't drink.
It was a professional. It was a
I
professional.
literally think somebody wrote that for her because
that was a publicist. Yeah.
So some publicist should have written her acceptance speech, and she kept her damn eyes on that piece of paper. It might have been shaking because she's probably nervous and excited, but she would have read that and it would have come off much better.
First giving honor to Christ.
She had a Juicy Smollett moment up there on that stage. She's like, I'm Tupac. I'm the motherfucking gay Tupac.
She the white female Tupac. She changing the game, baby.
First giving honor to Christ, who said, "I like to thank the
Academy." Anyway, Pascal, did you update your picture?
No. I do.
Hey, David is. Look at the synchronicity of our timing, boy. Look at that.
I saw what Act TV did to Ben. They have Ben from 1983 with a full hairline.
Hey, you saw a type my line.
Baby, it was right there. It was on the forehead. It was so healthy. It was right up here. And I said, "What? That is not good right now."
Wait, you got that picture, David, for the after party? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Pascal. Let people know where they can find you.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Well, lately my schedule, my show schedule has been different. So I've been popping on randomly every single day. I'm on still live every day, but I'm not on at 9 Central Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So it has been a little bit different lately. But you can go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Pascal Show. And you can check me out there. Follow me on Twitter, The Pascal Show, one word. It'd be greatly appreciated.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, and when they go to your YouTube, they can also hit to get notifications as to when you are live, right?
Yes. Hit that bell.
Yeah.
Hit that bell. Ring that bell.
Ring that bell. All right. Thank you so much, Pascal, for tuning in with us.
The Lord said to John, "Come forth and you shall receive eternal life." Somebody. But John came fifth and received a toaster.
I thought you were going to give us a word at the end of the day.
I did a word.
That was the word. But thank you so much, Pascal, for showing up. You got to make sure you come on every week, especially when I'm late, so you could give the people some Haitian vibes. That's what the people be missing sometimes. You got to give it a little earpiece.
I need to chop it up with Benji Ben right here.
Yeah, make it work.
Always down to be back here. I love being here. So and I want to give you your flowers real quick, girl. I said it earlier, but I don't think you were listening. But hey, keep doing what you're doing. You a beast out here. Real talk.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me.
Don't blow our head up.
Yeah, look, don't blow my head up. I got streaks in right now. I got a little blonde streaks. Don't do that. But thank you, and I'm looking forward to having you on the show next week on Wednesday. We'll talk more, you guys. Take us to a break, DJ.
Let's stay live if y'all want to.
David be shuffling, boy. When I say David be shuffling. All right, y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. We got the after party coming up next, so you don't want to miss it. We are staying public today, so make sure that you stay tuned, man. We got more coming up next right here on the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. Like it or not.
My heart is ready for something I have been had in a long time. True love crime, I hope you know that it may hurt for a while. Let's slow down, slow down. I can see behind that broken smile. Nice, sweet, smooth, like cocoa bread, cocoa bread. You're nice, sweet, smooth, like cocoa bread, cocoa bread. You're nice, like cocoa, you're nice, like cocoa bread, like cocoa bread.
Right, Rebecca. Yo, Hustler, what's going on? Case, good morning. Kev Z, what's going on, brother? Kareem, good morning. The Bull Spit, what's going on? Buster be good, what's up, brother? That's right, Buster. Like Buster said, man, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button. What? Rebecca over here trying to fry bacon on the break.
Do the storm together. Who got make some room? I know you still nice, sweet, smooth, like cocoa bread, cocoa bread.
Miss Nuru, good morning to you.
Smooth, like cocoa bread, cocoa bread.
David is on it, boy. Six Dragon Daddy, what's going on? I'll tell you what's going on being Hellline in his picture. Come on, Hellline. It's all fresh and healthy. Barbara Ebro, good morning. Mara Cerise, good morning.
You're nice, sweet, smooth, like cocoa bread.
All right, y'all. We only got a little bit of time left. So y'all, welcome back to the screen. Ben and Rebecca. Rebecca.
Oh man.
Leave me be. Leave me be in the name of Jesus.
Oh man. I wish we could have that music in the background, man. That music is a vibe. Now, look at good. I had a hairline. Look at that.
The line was strong. He looking all mean. Right.
He was like, the world didn't give it, so the world couldn't take it away.
Am I giving youth pastor vibes right there?
Then you was giving you was like, baby, I'm ready to take on. I'm ready to save souls.
Save souls.
I'm ready to save souls. I am youth pastor, baby. You was like, for
really
those of you who
souls.
think that gospel music has gone too far.
No. I got it. For those of you who thought capitalism went too far, that's what I was on back then.
For those of you who think that capitalism has gone too far, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Hallelujah.
Ben really do. Somebody said Ben got that "don't mess with me" little years. Like he looking like don't fuck with me.
Yeah,
I'm not in a good mood today.
But he was so youthful, and it was almost like,
oh my God,
you're in the grocery store, and he's like, "Dang, she fine." And then this how he come up to you. Do you know Jesus?
Listen,
excuse me, sweetheart.
Hey, can I tell you about one time? I ever tell y'all the time who those people that go door to door and telling you about Jesus? But not Jesus. The Jehovah's Witnesses.
Look, we don't even know their name no more because the pandemic. Like, what
We've been out. They ain't been knocking.
They ain't been knocking.
Praise the Lord.
What are they called again?
Don't knock on my door during no pandemic. Don't knock on my door in no pandemic. I digress. Back in the day, many years before I was married, and many years before the pandemic, Jehovah's Witnesses, they kind of got a little sophisticated with their operation. They sent two of the finest sisters I had ever seen in my life to come knock on my door. Now, normally I pretend like I wasn't there. I think we had a good 2-hour conversation about the goodness of Jesus that day. So anyway, that's
really
I'm dead.
This house is covered by the blood, not the blood in the Jehovah's Witness book. Blood. 3 pages. 3 pages.
Rebecca, I don't. Well, no. Actually, did we talk about? I don't know. Whatever they were talking about, I listened to for 2 hours. They weren't talking about Jesus. They were talking about Jehovah. I don't know. I just let them in my house.
I'm gonna tell you that about Jehovah's Witnesses, and no offense to y'all, because I literally was raised with some really good people who were Jehovah's Witnesses, and I always went to the church with them and all of that. It was different from what my church was, but they were so loving to me. But they would come over, I think, every Saturday, and then give me the book, the yellow one. And then take it right to Revelations with the beasts with the heads on it. And I'm like, I'm about 10. I don't know if I really want to. I don't know if that, that's not my vibe. Like, that's not my vibe. But then they'll just sit there, and then they would recruit me to go door to door. And you know, guys, I didn't know how that was, but I was like, please God, don't let my friend see me. Please God, don't let my friend see me. Please God, don't let my friend see me. Please God, don't let my friend see me.
Wait. You went knocking on doors?
I didn't go. I was scared.
Oh God.
Please God, let my friend see me. So we were walking, and what I would do was like fall out. I was like, it's hot. It's so I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty. We haven't even got to 2 doors yet. We got to like maybe 1. And I'm thinking my friends are gonna see me. They're gonna think like, oh my God, she's one of those crazy people. Like she's like the mom has her dragging along. And it's like not my mom. My mom was Pentecostal, and she was a fresh Pentecostal. That's why she threw me out, because she was like, I got too many kids. Y'all take them. Y'all go and do something with them. But I really was just like, I can't do this. I would fall out and be like, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, it's hot. You know, who's in South Florida. So yeah, but yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah, I did door to door in South Florida for a campaign one time. You get guns put on you doing that stuff in South Florida though, so I don't really I don't do it down there too much. Anyway, they crazy down there. Just what else we got though? Because we've had some fun this morning, even though the stories are crazy as hell.
I'm not sure if David got it or not. Let me see. Keeping up with the countries, David. You got that one?
Oh yes. This is a great breakdown of what's going on.
Uh-huh.
Oh, he said, give him a second. He said, give him a second. All right, we give him a second. We'll put that one up. All right, so we got that video. What else?
I didn't have time to fry bacon.
Rebecca was whole ass trying to fry bacon, y'all.
I wanted to like have it frying in the background.
You should have threw it in the microwave. Throw it in the microwave so you don't have to watch.
In the microwave? My girlfriend told me that you could do that, but I can't. I don't know if that's a real thing.
I don't like it in the microwave. It's not as good as if it was fried.
Y'all gonna thinking about to cuss y'all out, but please forgive me. Ain't no forgive me. I don't eat bacon. I mean, I don't like bacon.
That's okay. I mean, I don't eat.
Yeah,
burgers.
I like I might eat my mom's bacon, but bacon
Everybody
is not
bacon
like
ain't good.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm not like a huge bacon fan. I might get a bacon cheeseburger every now and again, but like I can live without bacon.
Is it the type of meat in the bacon that you don't like?
I just can live without it, all of it. I used to eat turkey bacon heavy, but I stopped eating that too. I just don't like bacon like that.
That's okay. I didn't like bacon for a while in my life.
I've gotten canceled so many times
started
for
frying
it.
it
See,
myself.
look, Ben's about to try to cancel me now.
No, I'm not. Just want to see if my what you've done with my friend James and you bring him back as soon as possible. Because
just because I'm gay, Ben, don't mean I like all meat.
Listen to this. Let's play this video. Let's play this video.
Run it.
Just let me talk to you.
No, can you back up off me?
I just want to talk to you.
Since when? Can y'all get him off of me? Russia, get off of her. She do not want to be with you.
America, this ain't got nothing to do with you. Now, you already know how I get down. I will nuke everything up in this bitch.
Ooh, child. Now, you know what, you cray? I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's your man. I'm going to leave that alone. You are fake.
Well, you not part of the gang.
The gang. Yes, NATO. Yeah, you not part of NATO, honey. What is NATO? NATO stand for not about that OG life. That is not what it stand for. But I bet you won't touch France.
Where?
I bet you won't touch Poland. I bet you won't touch Croatia. Ooh, you better not touch Croatia. All that good hair. Ooh. That's crochet. Huh? Crochet. Huh? That's crochet. Oh, but I bet you won't touch her.
Oh, trust and believe this nuke about to touch everything.
Trust and believe.
Just to believe this nuke about to touch everything.
Trust and believe. No, this is crazy because this is how people are learning it. But it's okay because it's making sense to people.
It's not that far off. It's not far off at all.
No,
it's pretty accurate, to be honest with you.
Between this video and the black girl from last week video that we played, I'm like, oh, okay. You better break it down for me, then. I need the hood version. This extra stuff that y'all talk about on TV. I don't know what y'all talking about.
And then it has the keys, right? You know, so if you don't know what countries these are, it gives you the flag. So you could be like, oh, that's Russia. Okay, that's the United States, it's Canada. Okay. So if we look further, we're gonna see Ukraine. Is that's Mexico? Because there are times I look at the map and I'm confused. I may know what
wait, go back.
Go ahead.
That's a lot of that's confused. That's confusing to me. There's too many flags on that image. It makes my brain go crazy.
It breaks it down though. That's like it really breaks it down a whole lot.
Look at his face. What is it?
It breaks it. Everybody has what breaks it down for them. Somebody can look at that and they just understand the pictures, right? And they can get it that way. And especially because
look at Ukraine. Look at Ukraine looking up in Russia like, please.
Somebody asked JT, you know, are you bilingual? She said, yeah, I speak another language. She said Ebonics. And then everybody was in there was like, yes, AAV. Is it AAVE or is it that's what it is? AAV, so they said that is that's a language because we understand it when we're speaking to each other with it. So yeah, I speak another language. So would you guys say that is in language a way of speaking like another? Because it's almost like it is. Because I would say it is. I would definitely say it is.
No, it's a more it's A lot of people ask me why do I because when I first came out, I made sure I dotted every I, crossed every T. But then I was like, man, F this. It just takes too many syllables to say what I could say at home without all the extra syllables. So to me, AAVE, Ebonics, all that, it's a more efficient language. We cut out all the foolishness from the British Empire, and we just say it in a more efficient language, if you ask me.
And then it's funny because we can say it the same way, but with a different accent too, right? Like if you speak to somebody who's speaking AAVE from DC, you know, you're gonna get a different accent, but the same words, right? If you speak to somebody who comes from South Florida, same words, just different accent. You know, somebody from Mississippi, same words, different accents. And I feel like just because some white people can't understand it, or some black elites choose not to act like they understand it, and some black elites act like they do not want to understand it because they come from better areas, or were taken out of the hood. Now they know nothing no more. Just like Haitians who leave Haiti and act like they can't speak Creole no more, knowing they got a heavy old accent, and that's crazy to me. But anyway.
That was personal. You felt that in your China, man.
Because I know some people. Somebody said the other day, they was like, okay, so you are Haitian, your mama Haitian, your daddy Haitian, but you got 5 different Caribbean flags in your what is it? The byline, whatever it's called on your Instagram. You got 5 different flags on your page. Ain't none of them Haitian. So what happened? You was born on an airplane. I died.
Jesus,
I
my
died.
gosh.
You flying over all these countries. Was you born on the airplane? No, you know you Haitian. You get over here and you stop speaking the language all of a sudden. I knew a little girl. This is a personal story. We're gonna take it, move on. There was a little girl that used to stay with me. Beautiful girl. Absolutely love her. She stayed with me in college. She went to college early like me. She was about 15 or 16 at the time. And yes, and I was living in the apartment style dorm. Well, they weren't even dorms. I was actually living in a real apartment that time. My summer year from my freshman year. And the lady downstairs was like, y'all got the house with the Haitians? And I was like, yeah, we got, and they was like, okay, can we bring this Haitian girl into your, can we give her one of the rooms that are left over? I was like, I don't take any kids. I'm still a kid myself. She was like, no, we really need you guys to take her in. So I took her in. First, she came in and act like she couldn't. They told me that girl was straight from Haiti a few years ago, not like 10, but just a few. She chose not to. I'm speaking to her in Creole. I'm like, okay, so parler Creole, côté ou sorti, on besoin aide avec un ken bagay, mandem, ou ka mandem moyen, si ou besoin libre pour aller à l'école. She looked me in my face and was like, huh? I looked at her. I said, girl, I closed that door. I waited till the lady that dropped her off left. I invited my other Haitian friends who are like, we call them boats. That means they're straight from Haiti. I invited them over. I sat them down. We spoke Creole for about an hour. She would refuse. And she was like, I don't really understand. Not with that accent, sis. You will not. You will not. And then finally, I think 2 days later, she just broke down and she was like, m'te senti m'pat ka parler créole avec nous parce que côté m'sorti yo pa remen les moun parler créole, so m'pat besoin parler créole parce que m'pa kon moun la. I said, oh, okay.
Oh, wait, hang on. Okay. No, we didn't get it though. Translation.
Right. She said basically she didn't feel like speaking Creole because she didn't know where she was. She wasn't comfortable speaking Creole in this area because we're in the middle of Tallahassee, and she felt like I don't know people here and I don't want to. She basically said she didn't want to be like singled out or whatever. I said, sweetie, be proud of where you come from. Don't come here and try to be something that you are not. You speak that language, be proud of that language. And to everybody that was told because you have a country accent or whatever, or however you speak because other people can't decode it, we will not allow them to make us feel small for speaking another language, having an accent or whatever the case may be. To the people that I was in kindergarten, when I was in kindergarten, who thought because I am a Haitian kid who put me into those ESOL classes, but still utilized me and pulled me out of the ESOL classes to go and translate at the age of 5 for the kids that was coming into the school. Kiss my ass to those teachers.
You like it or not? She done turned that camera out. she done cut that camera right out. Camera gone.
It's like kiss my ass. Okay, cool.
Oh man, drop the mic. Yeah, drop the mic.
I'm the motherfucking gay Tupac.
What is David? Give us an intro. What's the intro to AP1? What's AP1, man? Oh man. Or just type it in there. What? Go ahead.
And get this man.
All right,
He coming this
AP1.
crazy mother.
Oh, pause. Hey, I gotta introduce it. This is wild. Okay. Listen. I don't even know if we can get away with playing this because stalking is not funny.
It's
I have
not
to preface
funny.
it
I'm
with
looking
that.
at.
And Kanye West needs to stop it. Now, this isn't Kanye West, but when you don't stop people from stalking, they show up in camouflage in front. Run the clip.
And wait, before you do, I will say this. I think Kanye did stop Pete Davidson's dragging now, or Pete Davis is starting to troll now. He taking pictures.
Oh, so it's going back and forth. So
is this
all
this
back and forth, all this stalking and toxic masculinity.
It's childish. Yes.
It's dangerous, and it leads to something as absurd as this. Watch it.
Go out here and get this man. He coming this crazy mother. Open up door, Miss Jackson. Stop playing with me. For real. Stop playing with me. Like a bag of weed. Don't nobody give a fuck about no police, Miss Jackson. You don't want to file her taxes. You did that. You know I was supposed to claim one of them fucking kids, man. Now bitch out in Tulum, spending my half of the money eating coochie. What the fuck, man? That's the type of bitch you the type of bitch you raising, a coochie eater? Open up door. Okay, you know what? That's too aggressive because I'm not even mad. It's just the fact that bitch has really got my money in Tulum eating coochie. How she eating coochie and her coochie stink? Huh? That shit must run in y'all family, huh? You must have BV, your mama had BV, grandmama had BV, auntie had BV. Oh, y'all, you know what? Y'all the BV. Open up. What is wrong with you? Bitch, open up this door, Miss Jackson. You know what? I'm gonna be right here when she come back. Don't even worry.
How you gonna say? How he gonna say? Bro, how is he gonna say, nah, that's too aggressive? He tried to calm down, and then he came back even more aggressive. This man, I've never seen somebody dressed up in camouflage. This is real.
No, it's not real. I don't think. Is it real?
No, I don't think so, because somebody shared this with me the other day too. So it's probably more than likely staged.
I
can't tell no more. They play it too much.
This is true.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess I got like, I don't know, past traumas with real stuff like this happening. Like
really pulling up on you like that?
Yeah.
Pulling up on you like that?
Like not on me, but
minus the camouflage. Minus the camouflage.
Minus the camouflage. But yeah, it ain't giving me. It's giving me like I'm flashing back to moments of crazy people doing that.
Nah, we don't want to. Well, see,
Yeah.
that's
Talking about your
right,
she into Tulum eating coochie. How you find that into Tulum eating coochie?
I just, you know, Rebecca, I hear you loudly and clear. We're gonna move on past it. I just really like when y'all
practice these.
I can't even say the word I need to say, but fellas, y'all need to chill the hell out. Like, because if y'all that's wild.
Yeah, let's talk about this. You know, and not to not find it funny because it's still funny to you, and I love that it's still funny to you, Bubba, because everybody finds what they find in the video. But here's what I need to say, y'all men and women, because I do not. I gotta call out both sides. Both sides. Y'all men and y'all women that get on these microphones every single day and get on here to do stuff like either this or to use your platform to speak against women, and women who do it to speak against men. I'm talking about the ones from Potomac, what their name, Giselle, and Lord, who got on the mics, who literally talked about James Harden's beard being nasty and disgusting, and it smells like he has such and such in it. It was stupid. And then the men who are interviewed the young woman who clearly is going through a physical. She's getting abused by Blueface, and she's mentally attached to him. I don't know her name, but she's missing that one tooth. If y'all don't know the rapper Blueface, that the dance that he made where he holding the down. Yeah. And so anyways, but somebody interviewed her, 2 men, and literally were pushing her to say some things that highlighted that she literally is in a really abusive relationship, a toxic relationship. And then 2 other men again I saw pushing, and I forgot where this man, he's in power, I believe. And they were pushing him to say that he was gay, and he was not ready to tell his coming out story. And they pushed him to literally say that he was gay. Yeah, he's on Power. And so me watching that whole thing, just so many people taking the mic, or so many people utilizing the mic, some people going into stores to record themselves bothering random people. And people turning around and being like, please, like, what, like, don't bother me, like, and then getting off laughs or views for that. Like, let's kind of scale back a little bit and reconsider why we turning on these cameras and why we really getting on these mics. Because a lot of you men shouldn't be on these mics anyway. Get a job. A lot of you women shouldn't be on these mics anyway. Get a job. A lot of you going into Targets and these other places, knowing that these particular locations, just because we want to have white people looking crazy, so we set up a moment to have white people looking crazy, it's ridiculous. It's Jussie Smollett.
I mean, like these pranks and stuff.
It's Jussie Smollett.
Yeah.
So now for reasons that no, and then in many of these cases, people have died under these things. People have died. Somebody I was just looking at dropped a video underneath the one of those videos of the people making pranks on people in the store, and they dropped a thread of videos, news videos of people who wanted to be famous, go viral, playing pranks on strangers, getting shot. They were getting shot. They were getting ran over. They were getting beat down. Stop playing in these streets and keep your mouth off of innocent people.
Look, but you know what though? It is the plight of the pandemic, of people being in the house, TikTok, and all this other shit. Because now people want to be famous, and they think that the way that they can be famous is by making all these TikTok videos and setting all this stuff up. And Rebecca, I know exactly what you're talking about, because there's this guy that's going in the stores acting like he's on the phone and walking up to random people and he buying chips or something. Man, you know your fat ass don't need that shit. What you say to me, bro? It's like, oh, I was on the phone. I'm on the phone. So now it's just for laughs and jokes because y'all can get views and everything else. It's at one point it was cool. Everybody was doing their little dances and everything, and that is all fun. But now y'all want to start pranking people, and y'all taking shit a little too far. Yeah, the scripted stuff when you do skits and it's cool, but when you like going real people in real life, bro, that's a dangerous situation. And you said it right, Rebecca. You're gonna end up getting yourself killed messing with the wrong person.
And opportunities for the people who are taking the mic just to build themselves up off of saying that black women are this or black men are this. Those opportunities are that you guys think that you're going to get up and level up on. Those are dying down too. Now TikTok is starting to say, okay, if it's this, we don't really want it. If it's this, we don't really want it. Other people that when people were getting jobs during the pandemic, getting on these big old shows because of those kind of things. Now it's like, okay, we don't even want to mess with you because now you want some other stuff, and that could get me canceled, and I can't have you on my show because what you're talking about on yours. So be prepared if you are building your platform off of the demise of black men or black women or just being abusive to people in general. You ain't gonna win in life. You might get a little money right now, but I promise you, you ain't gonna win in life, and you might put your own life in danger. Stop playing in these streets.
So that was a skit. You know what made me think it was a skit for a hot second is when the lady at the door said, "He out here looking like a big bag of weed." That's when I was like, okay.
Oh, here come this crazy mother sucker.
Because she knows that he plays so much, and he probably was doing this to get done. My little brother used to do stuff like this, and then he realized that my mom is just not that person, and I don't want her to constantly be exposed and exploited out on camera. There are videos that people were taking of my dad years, like 10, 12 years ago, of conversations that were supposed to only be in the house. And I saw them pop up on Facebook, and I'm like, this is so cringy, and this is exploitation of my father. He doesn't even like social media. And there were conversations that we were having as a family that were being recorded, but the person was just laughing at my father's facial expressions and things like that. And when I saw it, I'm like, yo, take this video down, bruh. Stop playing with my daddy. Like, seriously, stop playing with my daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are things that can get people in trouble. These are things like a lot of things. So I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like the abuse on when they do it to old people as well. I don't like when there's when Ben, remember how you were so pissed that when we played that video of that little baby boy getting the water splashed on him? I don't like when they exploit their kids as well. Like, you don't remember, Ben? Dang. Remember when
I remember. No, I remember very viscerally. Way to tie that together, Rebecca. Way
Yeah,
to create a trigger response in me that
Sorry.
reflects.
So
No,
I'm
I get
saying
it now. I get
exploiting
it.
anybody, using this platform to, I know we can kiki about people, like whatever, have a good time. There are ways that we can still do that without exploiting people for our gain. I don't get that. I don't
Or-
gain nothing in saying, go ahead, Ben.
Okay. No, I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say, because in this case, what's exploited in that video, that I ain't gonna lie, I laughed my butt off with that video, but what's being exploited in that is stalking and just the fear, just almost rape. Like there's okay. No, I hear you loud and clear.
I guess
Because
that's what, for
while
me,
we don't know those individuals, we do know what's being exploited there is the idea of someone being so crazy that they was dressed in camouflage to go stalk a person.
I think
Got it.
we've seen so many Ring videos where people are like chasing people through the hallways and stuff, like women running into their home. So it's like, that's all I'm seeing. But honestly, it was meant to be a joke. We can tell that was something that was meant to be a joke.
But it's too far. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm
gonna tell you, and sometimes y'all just have to, and I hate to be that person.
Mhm.
They'll take it all too serious sometimes, y'all. Sometimes live life and laugh with it sometimes, but I understand where y'all coming from. But just live
but
and
like
live
I
and
told
laugh.
you, everything ain't gonna be funny to me. Everything ain't gonna be funny to you.
Yeah.
It could have been a situation where somebody was doing something and you was like, Rebecca, it's just not funny to me. I understand it. I get it. It just wasn't giving me what I needed.
I know.
Wasn't- Yeah.
I'm the funny man of the group, so everything will be funny to me. I'm gonna tell y'all, y'all got a goddamn laugh. Life is too short.
But he
And we going
did.
through too
Oh,
much
I
shit, y'all
laugh. You know I'm gonna laugh. You know I'm gonna laugh.
You know I'm gonna laugh as soon as we off the air.
If you exploit these goddamn kids, I still feel bad for the kid, but I'm gonna laugh at the little motherfucker.
Yeah, I can't laugh at it. I can't.
And especially if you caught off guard, it's funny. But if you just like you sitting there playing with the poor little baby and you don't know what the hell going on, now that's
Y'all see that little girl? The parent bring that little girl. That there's a TikTok that's bringing kids little bits of food. You just bringing them one little nugget, a dot of barbecue sauce, and one fry. They brought it to that little baby sitting on that little thing, and the mother was like, I seen this TikTok, and I'm just gonna. So she's recording it. The little kid looks up at the camera, looks at the food, takes the nugget and throws it across the floor. And I'm like, y'all don't even know y'all building these kids to be just like this when they get a little older. Now, see, that's what I'm thinking about. It ain't funny to me because now this kid is looking like, damn, why she playing with me? She ain't doing peekaboo. She ain't playing with me like that. She ain't tickling me.
These are new millennium goddamn kid, because I be wanting to see what the reaction is gonna be as well too. Because I'm like, all right, let me see what this baby gonna do when I do this real quick. And then I see that little ass throw that shit across. Okay, all right, I see you.
James, you are not babysitting my kids.
Yeah, but why
oh, trust me, I'm the best babysitter in the world, bro.
Why did you put them in the predicament anyway? To tell them I'm only going to give you this amount of food after feeding you 6 nuggets, 17 fries, and a
dot of hot sauce.
Yes.
It encourages growth in the kid, Rebecca. Come on, goddamn it!
It literally raises them to be angry when they don't get their way.
Not if you doing it consistently, like if you're doing this all the time, but if you're doing it one time just to see what a reaction is gonna be.
She knew.
Okay.
I think that 2-3-year-old knew.
Yeah.
Like, you are recording me for likes and you giving me one nugget for this.
You know what? They need a class. They need a workshop, a class in when does a joke become abuse? Like there's somebody got to learn a line in there because
it would vary. That would be a terrible class because then it's gonna vary by person to person. You got to really think about it.
No, that's true.
And
it's
that was
go back.
terrible also because people gonna be laughing when they shouldn't. Other people gonna be hurting. Well, that's a bad
exactly.
thing.
I laughed at. I can't even front on you. I laughed at so many COVID jokes. I was looking at my stories 2 years ago.
No, we gotta go. Dwayne in the chat talking about quit calling these kids. Build us a thick skin. Goddamn right, Dwayne.
But Dwayne is not gonna do that to his kid though. Dwayne is not gonna do that to his daughter. Like he's talking, but he's not gonna do that to his daughter.
Dwayne, give me the type that
anyway,
when she get
we're
older.
we're at the end of the show. Dwayne, you should have been here. Don't be trying to pop in last minute. Okay. So we're at the end of the show. We gotta go because I feel like David is yelling at us. Like we gotta, especially with all the cursing that has happened in this after show. I love you guys so much. We're gonna take it.
This is what happened when y'all come to the after party.
Tuesday, it's Taco Tuesday. Look, Latif, I'm waiting on my taco money.
Rebecca.
Oh my God.
Rebecca, it's Wednesday. It's whole ass Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday.
Dwayne.
Dwayne.
That's not fair. No, first of all, I forgot what you look like. Secondly, you don't get to come and crash the show at the end.
Why not? This is the best time to crash the show.
That's what Rebecca doing.
I was in the chat talking to people in the chat. So I said, well, I'm not doing that right this second. So let me hop on.
Y'all give it up for
So why you
Dwayne,
ain't- why you
our
ain't come to
technical
work today?
director.
Huh?
Why you ain't come to work today?
Yeah.
Why
He
ain't
had
come to work
to
today?
pay
Because
his-
I'm
pay his
at work
bills.
right now.
Oh,
Like,
so this is
at
not
work,
considered
at
work
work.
for you?
Job.
So this
Oh,
ain't work
that's
for you
right.
either?
Rebecca went here yesterday, so she don't know
Yeah,
either.
yeah,
Like
see,
Dwayne is like
Rebecca,
at
if you would've
work at
came to
work.
yesterday, you would have known why I wasn't there. Why I ain't there right now.
I was busy at work as well.
And
So
what's wrong with me being at work right now?
you're not me. You don't get those taxes.
Wait a minute. See, so that's what it is.
Oh, my AirPods are dead.
Anyways, what do you want? Like what
Nothing, I just wanted to come say hi. You know,
Oh,
I
damn,
didn't think I
the
was going.
picture
I
is
didn't think I was
clearer
going
now.
to get such quick access into the show.
That was really fast too. David,
It was like really
If
goddamn
only
fast.
you got this kind of access when you was in the waiting room.
Listen, David, no, all y'all. I don't even. We at the end of the show anyway. Thank
David
you.
about to play some fade music.
I really thought it was Tuesday. I thought it was Taco Tuesday. I was gonna give me some tacos. It is Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm in here. I'm here echoing you. Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, I
And it's
thought it
all
was
the
like-
way.
Right.
well,
And
see,
I'm
what
looking at
taco-
both of y'all
what
like
taco money in it?
y'all is Wednesday. Like y'all a whole ass day late. What's going on?
I'm tired. I'm tired.
Well, what's W on Wednesdays? It's
Look,
what?
Latif don't send me
Wings
taco
Wednesday.
money anyway. Thank you, Latif. Thank you.
It's wild
Or is it
out
Weed Wednesday?
Hey, look at David.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Now David feeling like he can come on because
We got the whole team on the screen.
Wait,
I had to represent ladder hack correctly. You know, Dwayne can't be the only one in the frame.
David, you popped on looking like the Unabomber real quick. Though.
But I also wanted to let Rebecca know. I just, I saw Dwayne pop in there, and I was like, they're about to wrap, so either I put him on screen or he doesn't make it in. And
yeah, he shouldn't have made it in, but here we are.
Damn.
Told
Here we
y'all,
are.
David is good with me all the time.
I share
Why
my
are we
frame.
here? I'm supposed to be off of the show. Dwayne, what do you want? We said hello.
Bro,
time to go.
it's not my fault. Look, it's not my fault that I looked at the thing after 10:30 and y'all was still on here talking. I didn't keep
Right.
y'all around late.
Oh
And
snap!
on that
I got to
note,
be on the call.
DJ
Yeah, I got.
exclusive.
I'm here vibing.
Anyways, thank you guys for joining. The whole family is here, y'all. We will see you tomorrow. I don't know if Dwayne's gonna be here or not since he has he's working at his
I'm
real
gonna be there.
job. Or
I don't know if you're
whatever.
gonna
He'll
be
be here
there,
because
but
I
I'm gonna
won't
there.
be.
We already planned for me and Bubba to do a show without
James,
y'all,
you
so.
see what
Oh
I'm
yeah,
going
we
through
did. Yeah, Rebecca, we doing the show, Rebecca.
All right, we're at the end of the show. I don't know what's going on. See, I guess I'm just left out the loop. I love you guys so much, and we will talk tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Deuces, y'all. Terrible. Oh, look, y'all. We know we're doing something good. We got hacked by the porn people in the chat room. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much, man. We greatly appreciate y'all for joining today. And it feels like my microphone is acting stupid because it sounds weird in my ears. Anywho, thank y'all again, y'all, for joining. We will see y'all tomorrow.
Good girl, but you're looking for a baller. Need the blue strips on your dollars, but take your number when she ready, she'll call ya.